Hello everyone, it's Anna, also known as That Star Wars Girl, and before the video starts, I just wanted to let everyone know that I have an Indiegogo live right now of my very first comic book cover ever. So if you like me and you want to support my artwork, go on to the Indiegogo, the link is in the description below, and check out some of the tiers, and if you support it, it would mean the world to me. Thank you so much everyone, and now on to today's video.
I don't like sand.
That was an accident. What's up, all my Ewoks, Tribbles, Droids, and Wookiees? It's Anna, also known as That Star Wars Girl, and today we are starting our new show, which is called The Matriarchy. So I'm joined by my co-host, Jessi Milestone.
What is up, everybody? Jessi Milestone, Mindless Entertainment. It's so good to be here. Anna, you and I have been talking about doing our own show in some form or another, probably since at least Celebration last year.
Really?
So like for a freaking year on and off of, oh, we should do this and we should do that. And so we're finally doing it. And I am
finally. Yeah, at first we were talking about like having a 3-person show, but then things happen. And me and Jessi are like, fuck it, let's just do it.
We'll just do it ourselves. You know what? Who needs a third person? We're still ramming 2 women equal 3 men anyway. So
there we go. And we also have the capability to make more humans, so that too. I have no interest in doing that, but we can do it. But so the way that the show is going to work is we're going to talk for a couple hours once a week about current events and stuff that's going on, and give our 2 cents on all of that with our vast amount of knowledge is on these topics. And so it's going to rotate channels. So it will be on my channel, and then next week it will be on Jessi's, and then vice versa. And we will also have the episodes numbered, so that way if you guys miss one, you'll know which one. I'm starting here, so I'll always be odd numbers. Jessi will always be even numbers.
Cool.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that next week. All of the links to go subscribe to Jessi's channel, so that way you guys do not miss an episode, is in the description of this video. And with that being said, let's start our first topic. So as you know, I put out a video on May the 4th about, and I did a collab with Jessi. It was our first like video collab, not a live stream collab.
Cool. Well, not technically, because you did one on mine for the Unicorn Store before we were at the getting the alcohol to watch the Unicorn Store.
Was that a video or was that a live stream?
It was. I think it ended up being a video because we put up I don't know. I'll go back and look. But anyway,
the movie that we never even reviewed.
We never did. Like, we got to get all this alcohol so we can get drunk and get through it and watch it so we can review it for you. And then we were just like, no, I just want to forget. I drank to forget, and now I don't want to remember it. So.
Moral of the story that Brie Larson directed her movie was that forget about your dreams and find a boyfriend.
Exactly. That was exactly. Give up your dreams because you found a guy. And it wasn't even like she was crazy about him either. She was like, I think I could like you. Let me give up literally my childhood dreams because I think I might like you.
It's like, I'm a failure. I'm living with my parents. I've spent all of whatever money I had building this unicorn corral, and I finally am going to get my unicorn, but I'm giving it up so I can have a boyfriend that I met at the hardware store.
Which was also equally stupid because there was no reason in the context of the story why she couldn't have also had the unicorn. Like, he helped her build the damn corral. The whole thing was like, there was nothing getting in her way. There was no like, if you take this unicorn, you can't have a boyfriend ever, or you'll be unhappy in these other ways in your life, or something else will go wrong. It was like, no, you can literally have it all. And the moral of the story is grow up and let your childhood dreams die, settle down, get married, and pop out of your kids. Like, what? Wow.
I know. It made no sense that she couldn't have the boyfriend and the unicorn. But as you guys know, we did a video where we reacted to Raylo animation, and hoes be crazy, bitches lost their fucking minds and went off on me. I'm still getting people commenting on that video saying how mean I was and just hating on me. I'm like, you didn't watch the video, did you? You're just coming to comment to leave hate. They're still trying to get me banned on YouTube. They're still trying to take my video down. I'm actually getting emails from people saying like, you don't understand what this does to mental health. And I'm like, do you not understand what you're doing to me is far worse than me doing a reaction video?
Especially because there's no guarantee the creator's ever going to see your reaction video. And this is always the funny thing to me. People are like, you're harassing. Like, when we make these videos critiquing, people, you're harassing Kathleen Kennedy, harassing Ryan John. That's even more. They're never going to see this shit. Odds are this creator's never going to see it. And if she does, who knows? Maybe she'll watch it. Maybe she won't. Maybe she'll care. Maybe she won't. But at the end of the day, it's like, hey, she's going to get a huge bump.
She got a huge bump. She was posting on, and this is all of their accounts went private because I've showed on the live stream, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can see you're bragging about how much people are paying you and giving you tips, and so I'm just like, yeah, you're making money off of this, but
which is fine.
And she would have never seen it if people wouldn't have hunted it down and showed it to her. So, and then they made a big thing, and she was retweeting, calling for me to my channel to get flagged in my video and my channel to get taken down. So that says more about them than it does about me. I got harassed, and I'm still getting harassed. But guess the difference is I can take it.
Of course, because you'll be good, because you're not a crazy ass Raylo. Because here's a question, right? Did you, and that's like the funny thing about all this for me, did we at any point in that video tell this person she shouldn't animate?
No.
Did we tell her she shouldn't have a channel? Did we even speak directly to her? Did we talk about, we didn't say a damn word about like her, like I made fun of the hand once a little bit, whatever, but we also covered like it's animation. I even said when I said that hands are hard, that one looks weird, but hands are hard.
Yeah.
We never disparaged her talents. In fact, we talked about how talented we thought she was and wish she put it to different, thematic use. All our concern is with the thematic material and why people waste their time with that kind of bullshit. Nothing to do with her at all. There was no harassment, no attack, no denigration to her channel. And yet her and all her crazy followers now, all the crazy Raylos are out there actively harassing you, actively insulting you.
Oh, they're doing it to you too. They just don't know your channel because they didn't look in the description of the video, and they didn't watch it to see when you announced your channel.
So that tells you exactly why. Because I'm getting the same harassment if they actually watch the thing. Because I mean, you know who I am. Though I have to say, man, you really hit on that cash count. It's worth all the garbage. Like I posted a picture from some of the Raylos we're going to talk about today, and I didn't even tag any Raylos or anything in it. I haven't looked through the comments. I don't know how many Raylos are in there, but that freaking just posting a Raylo thing and writing something about how stupid it is. It's like that tweet just
they lose their fucking minds. If you criticize Raylo, they lose their fucking minds because, oh my God, criticism is only allowed when it's something that they don't like. But if it's something that they like, they lose their minds. So with that being said, let's take a look at some Raylo art, everyone. You guys ready? You guys, I hope you have strong stomachs. So Jessi was kind enough out of the goodness of her heart to send this to me. So it's 10 Star Wars 10 amazing pieces of Raylo fan art that will make you miss them. Oh God. Yeah.
Nope.
So this is look, it's the butterfly. They all have the weird fucking butterflies that none of us could figure out why. Let me actually make this bigger. Oh, it's making the wrong. There you go. Here you guys go. Here's Raylo art for you. I'm not actually gonna say that the art is actually really good in this one. Jessi was talking about hands. Like, look at the way those hands are drawn. Those are really nice. They don't look anything like them. No. And that's one thing. It's when you draw in a style. But one of the criticisms I actually had when we were doing the reaction is it's like whenever they draw Kylo Ren, they make him look as little at like Kylo Ren as possible because, sorry, Adam Driver isn't the typical. He doesn't have a very attractive look to him.
He's not a babe. He's not a babe.
He's not.
Which is why I question if before all the Raylo nonsense happened, if there was ever an intention to have those two be together, have any more to that, after The Force Awakens. Certainly the Raylo fandom started in that, and Last Jedi threw all that nonsense in there. But I do question if in the beginning, prior to Rian Johnson getting involved, if there was ever supposed to be a romantic attachment between these two, because Adam Driver, I wouldn't think so. Adam Driver's not the guy you're going to cast for that. If that's your end goal, you're going to cast somebody a little bit more classically, hunky or boyishly attractive, like Hayden Christensen.
Well, no. So J.J. Abrams even said that, oh no, because he was mad about the Raylo kiss because that was one of those things that was edited in after. that Disney did in The Rise of Skywalker, so he didn't even get to see the final because they made changes. There was never supposed to be any intention. But even though some channels that and Twitters that have me blocked and had me blocked for a long time that like to do streams where they talk shit about me behind a block button and had to declare to everyone that J.J. Abrams' intention when he started off doing Star Wars was to do Pride and Prejudice in outer space, Jessi.
What?
That's what this one channel was claiming. It's these two girls, and they somebody tagged me because like, Anna, I think these girls are talking about you. And so I click, and I was like, well, they've had me blocked for a while, but let me check this because they sent me the person that told me sent me a link to the live stream. I clicked randomly in it. So I'm like, I'm not listening to this whole thing. And it was one of the girls like, yeah, all the people that hate on Raylo, they don't understand that J.J. Abrams is on record saying that his mission was to do Pride and Prejudice in outer space.
Okay. First of all, I just want to address Townsaver's comment in the chat who said, if Ray looked like that, as in this picture, they'd have made another $1 billion. Probably true. But, sorry, but, have you seen J.J. Abrams' body of work? Are you familiar? Because I'm not convinced that J.J. Abrams ever read Pride and Prejudice. Have you seen one of the film adaptations? Probably. But I don't think that man has ever read Pride and Prejudice. I don't think that J.J. Abrams is a guy who wakes up and goes, you know what I want to create today? Pride and fucking Prejudice.
No, they didn't. The girls that were talking about it, I'm like, I don't even think they've read Pride and Prejudice. Right? I think that they saw the 2004 Keira Knightley version of Pride and Prejudice, which is a fantastic movie, but it's very different than the book. They cut a lot out, which makes sense for making a movie. Sure. But you want to get more accurate, go watch the miniseries. But no, nothing about a dude that murdered his father is okay with committing genocide and torture and like going into somebody's mind and torturing them is not Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah.
Hashtag kill.
Also, literally no one ever gets handed the Star Wars saga and goes, you know what I want to make with this? I want to make a Victorian era chick flick. That's what I want. That's what I want to do. That's what Star Wars is.
It's not Victorian. It's like postmodern. I don't know, something.
Well, the original Pride and Prejudice, was
It's something, but oh my god!
Yes. Yeah, okay. Maybe
people
are they post-Victorian? Is that what they are? Are they like post-Victorian or something?
They're 17.
Oh, it's pre-Victorian then. If they're 1700.
Yeah, it's either 18 or 17. Something. I remember in the 2004 movie, the guy was saying how he did it on a certain year because of the way that the costumes were to show the classes. Because I'm trying to think. It's when so dresses became popular during this era where the how the waistline part. Well, they made this instead of being like where your rib cages end, it's like right under your boobs, and so that was the change in the style. And so all the Darcy girls have it where it's at their waist, and the high class women have it up higher to show the class difference because their dresses are out of style now. It was really clever. My mom loved the movie, so she watched it when like the director talks over the movie and explains scenes and stuff. But that has nothing to do with this thing. Nope. Okay. Let's go look at the second one, guys. Ready? Number 9. To meet. Oh God.
Wow. This one, and I mean, you can see the person posting it is that Japanese characters?
I don't think
Korean.
So.
It's Korean, maybe?
It's not Korean. Korean has like they have little circles in them. I can spot Korean immediately. I'm not exactly sure.
It's not Chinese. I know Japanese has like 3 different.
I'm not sure, but this one is definitely the background looks really nice, actually.
Background looks nice. This looks more like a classic kind of anime style.
Yeah. I think the art is good. I don't like the material.
The choice of how to depict it, I'm not keen on too. This darkness, and I think she looks weird just hanging upside down like that. Like, why is she just hanging upside down?
It's like supposed to be either they're laying down or they're floating in space. In Japanese, really, I've never seen Japanese like that. But
because Japanese, the thing with Japanese is there's multiple
versions or something.
because they have multiple alphabets because of the way and they use it for different things. So there's like the kanji that's the same as the Chinese letters, and then there's like they use specific lettering if they're doing like if they're writing words that are like Americanized versions, because certain Japanese words or not necessarily American, not necessarily from America, but from other languages, because Japanese like has appropriated some of their words straight up from other languages. So like certain things like Coca-Cola is just like Coca-Cola. Like in I don't know exactly what it is in Japanese. I know in Chinese, they just break it down to the syllables, but Japanese has its own separate alphabet for writing that out. So
you see,
someone's got kanji, katakana, hiragana, and others. So that's one of the alphabets. So katakana is the one for 4.
What are they doing, Will? Why the hell is YouTube making okay comments that just say it's Japanese? Weird ass YouTube bot. That is weird. So they're flagging people that are saying it's Japanese. That's weird.
This is the craziness too of like this. It's the Big Brother shit that happens when you're all like isms. That you can't even. We have not gotten clearance. We have not gotten permission.
Look at this is a dyad.
Oh my god.
This honestly was the best part of the movie when you think she died.
Yeah, you're like, she's dead. Oh, god damn it. Well,
I know. That honestly would have had like something redeeming about the movie if she died, and then because of that, he finally made his decision to either be dark or light. This is terrible.
This one,
that hand is drawn very well. They younged him up a bit. He looks more like a 13-year-old.
Very boyish. And you see that, I think, we've seen that before with Raylo art, too. Again, another really well-done piece of art, I think. I like the little glow around him, like little force glow, I guess. I like the way they did the wounds and all that. But just to me, like, this exemplifies why this and another one that's in here exemplifies to me why this is so weird that people are so obsessed with this ship. Is like this is all it is. It's the two of them meeting and fighting and hurting each other, and then having one moment of like, earlier in the movie, her moment of whoops, I killed him. Like,
yep.
That's kind of a big fucking deal. I mean, and it's just,
how is that romantic is my question.
And it just makes me concerned. It makes me really concerned, just for, what's just a movie, you can like whatever you like, and you guys are the ones who are like, it doesn't have to look exactly like real life and what. And I'm like, yeah, but it's the rabidness that people cling to this, and the reaction they have when you don't like it. When Civil War came out, before it came out, I was Team Tony, my friend was Team Cap. We were very, very, very adamant about our teams, and we would debate about it. And then after the movie came out, it wasn't like, one of us was right or wrong. She actually felt, we both kind of felt on the side like Tony was a little more right in Civil War. But it didn't like make or break our friendship. It wasn't like, oh shit, Cap is the one, or Tony is the one, or Tony did this to Cap, or Cap did this to Tony, or you said something bad about Cap, you said something bad about Tony. Now we're not friends anymore. Now I hate you. Now you're wrong. Now you're the worst. We could agree to disagree. We could sit there and be like, I'm Team Tony, I'm Team Cap. We're still friends, and we don't have to pass a judgment. There doesn't have to be an end, a resolution, an ultimatum of who's right and who's wrong. We don't have to walk at it, because that's one of the beautiful things about a movie like Civil War. Is the lack of absolutism coming out of that film, is the way they were able to cast those shades of gray. Unlike the trilogy, sequel trilogy, they're able to cast those shades of gray in ways that make sense, and ways that there's still a black and whiteness, right? Cap made some mistakes, Tony made some mistakes, but both still the good guys at the end of the movie. Will Gentry's Team Tony. There we go.
No, Albert Fish was more romantic. I'm assuming that's about Raylo, but that's a whatchamacallit, a Jack show meme. But yeah, I mean,
but it's just like this is all this, if you're into it, fine. There's always gonna be people who dream up the imagine, and I get it. There's an attraction to this bad boy trope and this damaged love and whatnot, and that's fine. I don't have an issue if you want to get behind. I don't even have an issue if you're like, I ship Raylo. I like that. I think it's whatever. That's fine. But the second you need to get mad when people don't, and go harass people on the internet who don't like Raylo, you got a problem.
Oh, yeah. And with that, let's get back to Raylo art.
Hey.
I tried to take us out there for a minute. First meeting.
This is the one I tweeted about.
This is supposed to be romantic? He literally is invading, killing innocent people, and then almost kills her and uses the Force to knock her out. This is in no way, shape, or form romantic.
What is happening in this moment is he has knocked her out and he's in the process of kidnapping her, where he's going to then go and torture her.
Find your tweet so we can pull that up and read the responses. But here, go talk about it for a minute.
If this is your relation, if this is your first meeting, if this is how you meet the guy, he is not your guy. This is not healthy. This is not cute. This is, I mean, people are literally, someone drew this art and they're like, oh, the first time they ever met, he fucking knocked her out. Like, what? She didn't even see his face. He's just a crazy dude in a mask kidnapping her for God knows what reason. Certainly not a romantic one. Certainly, hey, babe, let me take you on your first date, but it's a surprise. So I got to knock you unconscious first and break into your mind. And then I guess eventually maybe we'll get to hand touching across the cosmos.
Oh my God, people are being a lot nicer to you than they are to me.
Why? I don't know why. Where do I get the crazies? Tell me where you find the crazies. I want the crazies.
You know, people are like, yeah, you're right here, but things change later on. Why are they nice to you and mean to me?
I don't know. Fuck you, Rayla. It's be crazy to me too. That's all right. I'm getting hate right now for the other video. For the video I just that we'll talk about it. You know, we'll get into that a little bit later on. But I am getting a lot of heat for that one. So there you go. I get my haters. My haters are all just my fans who turn on me when suddenly they don't agree with something I say.
Oh my God, listen to this. It's called enemies to lovers.
Is that a thing? That's not a thing.
There are tropes like that, but that not the way that this works. It's one of those like misunderstanding type of things, but things always change. It's always because there's not enough information. And so one of the best examples I can use, I'm gonna make us big again. One of the best examples I can use, and if you have not read the Hannibal Lecter book, do not listen. Take a minute, don't listen. So this is something. Well, I think you already know the ending of it. So they changed it for the movie. If you guys don't know, Silence of the Lambs is my favorite movie. And I've read the books hundreds of times. Silence of the Lambs is also my favorite book. They do make changes, but so there was a really big controversy when he came out with Hannibal, because in the book, which they changed the movie because they didn't feel comfortable doing what happens in the book, is that the message behind it is that Clarice learns that society is set up against her and you're going to live a better life, and you are actually at the end of the day going to help more people by turning to that side. And so at the end of the book, she and Hannibal Lecter basically it's a weird way to say it, but he uses drugs to allow her to have hallucinations so she can close off everything in her past, so she's able to say goodbye to her father. She's able to finally make the lamb stop screaming, and then she sees how the way that the justice system was so corrupt that it's actually better to be with a serial killer than to help a corrupt system, because the serial killer is the gooder of two evils. And so it was a metaphor for how society is going to shit when the villain is the better option. And so she joined forces with Hannibal, and they live a luxurious life together. Wow. And
romantically,
that's
really interesting. And I think actually I would love to see somebody do an interpretation, like do a film, you know, that with the original ending. Like, obviously you're never going to be better than the original Silence of the Lambs and all that. But it would be interesting to see that interpretation, possibly not a one-to-one.
I was gonna say that, Stickman, but the weird thing is, it's like Hannibal was a better person to her than anyone that she had worked with aside from Jack Crawford and, oh my God, Brigham. Yeah, and Brigham. Those are
kind of like a combination of the lesser of two evils and the devil, you know.
Well, the thing is, it's like every time she's met Hannibal, all he's done is try to help her, or everyone else has been working against her. Even when she was trying to save, oh my God, what is her name? In Silence of the Lambs, Catherine. Even when she's trying to save Catherine, the senator is against her. Everyone is against her. And in the second book, it's Hannibal. It's 10 years later, and everyone is just trying to sabotage her career, either over jealousy, over somebody wanted to sleep with her and she wouldn't sleep with them. But everything in Hannibal sets up for just how fucked up the justice system is. And honestly, it's any work environment. You have the top people that get away with everything, and if they don't like you, you're never making it. They're gonna put a stunt on you. And that's kind of what happened in Hollywood. Then Harvey Weinstein got exposed. It'd be imagining working for Harvey Weinstein and not ever being able to get ahead because you refused him, and he's just been sabotaging your career. So when in Hannibal, he hasn't bothered her. He hasn't come back to try to kill her. The only reason they see each other again is because he comes back to save her against, oh my God, what is his name? It's been a while since I read Hannibal because that's...
I haven't seen it in a long time. I know the plot, but I don't remember any names. I
want to say it's Nathan, but it's not. But anyways, that's where you have a trope where it's set up that... But it's not where he's like with Raylo. It's not that Hannibal Lecter's been torturing Clarice. He's been the exact opposite. If anything, when he's been on her team the entire time, he's never tortured her. He's never done anything to hurt her. So it's one of those things where if you're going to use a trope where it's from enemies to friends, you can even talk about, and I know people don't like this movie, but Avatar with the blue people, there's a thing where you have enemies and then they turn into, they fall in love because they have to work together. He's a human that goes into the Avatar and goes and tries to be there, and even she doesn't like him at first, but then she's forced to work with him and train him and stuff, and that's how
that's what you mean by enemies becoming friends. Like that's sort of a classic romance we see in chick flicks all the time.
Yes.
Where they're sort of antagonistic to it. So, but it happens in two ways. In chick flicks, it'll happen where they're like antagonistic to each other in a situation with low stakes, because it's a chick flick. It's just regular pedestrian real life. It's not cosmic space battles. So they're antagonistic to each other. One, the guy's a little too persistent. The girl's a little flippant, whatever it is. Eventually they realize they're meant to be together all along. And that's cute, or Avatar. But in Avatar and stuff like this, particularly when you have it on that more action scale of the enemies to friends, it's like you said, they are pitted against each other, not because of their personal clashing ideals or clashing goals, but because of the goals of whoever they work for or represent, or whoever they're, sometimes morale, like they were taught to believe a certain thing and they find out it's wrong, whatever it is. Dances with Wolves, another great example. The system you were raised in teaches you to believe that this is right or wrong, and then you experience it for yourself and realize that it's not, because of the kind person who showed you the way, the love connection you had, who, yes, maybe it started out antagonistically, but again, in those situations, even, it's always the second the two people get on that one-to-one level, there's a connection that you see right away. Something peels back. The big part of that, the enemies to friends is the audience realizes that this is going to happen before the characters do. That connection, that softness, that tenderness that is going to be realized is shown to the audience, hidden in little ways from the beginning. You don't see two people beat the crap out of each other, try to kill each other, murder people the other one loves, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, suddenly like, oh, wait, I have feelings for you. What?
No, and obviously in all of those, it's not where it goes from, hey, I'm going to be your captor, torturer, I'm also a mass murderer, and I'm going to murder your father figure who's actually my biological father in front of you, and that...
It's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, that's not romantic.
Not at all. No.
No one's pretty fucked up in the head to fall in love with somebody like that, unless it's like Stockholm syndrome to the max. But she got away.
She's not captured. Bless you. And even the thing is, love derived from Stockholm syndrome is not healthy either. Not at all. I just want to shout out real quick to Time of Dying, Double O in the chat, who liked my Breaking Bad fans.
Yeah, we talked about her shirt before when we were off air, and when I first like when she first popped on, the thing was blocking it, and so I thought it was Breaking Dawn, and I was like, what is going on?
Nope. Breaking Benjamin. Love that.
So let's move on to this next one. It Was You. And look, there's the butterfly. There's the butterfly. Oh God.
Well, that's
something
terrible.
Oh shit.
Isn't that pulled from? Hold on. The isn't this the whole reaching out? Wasn't that in the movie where like reaching for her parents or something, or the memory of her parents, or is this just the vision reach?
Okay, so this one reminds me of when she goes into the hole and sees the glass.
Oh, the glass, and there's nothing there, right? There's nothing.
No, and then she snaps and it's like her, That's what I thought this was when you first sent me this article. But then I'm like, this is supposed to be that hand scene.
The hand touch scene, yeah.
But it's like they took creative liberties. I'm gonna be nice and not talk too much about the art in this one. Let's move on. But yeah, even then, that's not. He murdered his father. He murdered his father like a day ago.
I want to shout out to this creator because that's the thing people forget too. Is like this timeline is so condensed. It's not like that was a year ago. Maybe you've changed. It was like that was yesterday. That was fucking yesterday. Come on, this wasn't weeks and weeks. This is fucking yesterday. I do want to point out this. Whoever posted this, I'd like to give them credit for saying I'm sorry before tweeting Raylo picture. So thank you, you user, for
Twitter
acknowledging Ara2 stuff. Thank you for acknowledging that this is something you should apologize for prior to posting it.
Let's see. I Will Be With You.
This one really is creepy to me because
this one it looks like they were trying to copy Lore Olympus. That's the web that I love to read.
Yeah.
Because Hades is the way that the artist does it. Let me find.
Well, that's Hades was blue in Hades with that almost that same shade of blue in Hercules. So
yeah. Okay. So this let me pull up images. But so like this is Lore Olympus, and so one of the things is like Hades is really tall and Persephone. Like here you can see he's super tall. And she's actually in high heels in this, but she's super short. But I actually so this is actually my background on my phone. But it's right before she pets his dog, and he came up to like stop his dog from attacking her, and she's just like, no, it's okay. And
wait, do Hades and Persephone actually have a like loving relationship in this?
No, the story is completely changed in this. So it's like she takes all of the themes and then she makes it her own story. So Apollo is actually the villain in this.
Ooh, interesting.
So Hades was like abused by because the father, their father, that the Titan actually ate all of them, and Hades is the oldest one. So he's a damaged person, but it's really good. But
Hades, I think, is such an interesting and unexplored character from old mythology because you had Hercules, the Disney that just makes him the straight up villain. But in the original mythology, he wasn't a bad guy. The kids literally drew straws. It was Poseidon, Zeus, and Hades drew straws. Hades drew the short straw. He got hell. Poseidon got the ocean. Zeus got to be the king of everything, and Hades got hell. So
even then, it's not even hell. It's the underworld. He just has been on. So Zeus is in charge of the heavens. Poseidon's in charge of the sea, and then Hades is in charge of
the afterworld
when you die.
Yeah,
and so it's like the way. It's actually like the underworld is a business. So it's like you have to categorize all of the souls as they come in. You have to figure out where they're going. You have to keep records and all of that. And then it's a really good story. But this looks like they took some inspiration from the webtoon.
The stuff that bugs me about this though is how utterly helpless she looks in his hands. Because this is something that I think is so weird. Again, about the relationship is like, so much of this is like there's a helpless chick with this strong, like a lot of this art really builds that up where she's like this damsel in distress and he's this big caring man. It's like that, first of all, couldn't be more different from the truth, and second of all, couldn't be more like I have my issues with Rey as a character. I think she's very damaging to female tropes and stereotypes and strong female characters because she's not, and her being this grossly exaggerated, almost parody version of what a strong woman should be detracts, I think, from real strong women and from what it actually looks like to be a strong woman, a real hero's journey with real hardships and stuff like that. But this is no better. Just having her be this like pathetic little you know,
And even then, it's like I honestly think how tall is Daisy Ridley? Because she doesn't look short compared to him. Because I know Adam Driver is actually a really big dude, right?
Adam Driver is really. I think they do some shooting and stuff there.
Well, that's the thing. It's like even when they had Princess Leia, you know, Princess Leia next to Han Solo, she's fucking tiny because they don't try to hide the fact that Carrie Fisher is like, she's like a hobbit.
Never looks helpless. But that's one of the things. That's one of the beautiful things. She never looks helpless in his presence.
No,
not for a second.
They're hot and they're yelling at each other, and she's like this, rah, 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 and he's like looking down at her like, da-na-na. You know, it's Daisy is 5'7".
It's so funny because in some of that original stuff, it almost feels like whatchamacallit, it almost feels like it's so cute the way they were able to do that and do that dynamic. It shows you how good of a job they did with a strong female character and a good, healthy, talk about, you know, your enemies to friends dynamic. That was Leia and Han at first. They argued like cats and dogs. And I mean, they were on the opposing sides. They weren't diametrically opposed or anything, but they started out antagonistically, and that built into that beautiful romance. And it's so well done. And part of it's because they're so on equal footing when they're together, you know, and to the point where like when she's lecturing him like that, she's looking up at him and he's the one who ends up looking small. It's very cute the way they're able to, you know, put those characterizations in. And that to me, it's like, that's a big part of why, you know, when you have these, look at, like you said, like you pointed out, an Avatar, you know, these are two people who are within their respective organizations or respective worlds on equal footing. It's not like it's the fucking mastermind of this operation coming in and meeting the blue chick, you know, or some some massive power imbalance like that. In this situation, it's always like Kylo Ren pretty much always has the upper hand when they're meeting. He always knows what's up. It's always her chasing after him or trying to run away from him. And he's always sort of the one with the plan, the one in control. He's always the one foundering, like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Give me direction. Tell me what to do. No, don't. No this, no that. So the power imbalance is just another part that's like, I don't, again, if you like it and you're into that and you want to chip that shit in your own time, that's fine. But to be so rabidly insistent that this is such a good, healthy, positive relationship, when you're ignoring all of that, you're ignoring all of the ways in which it totally and completely strips Rey of agency, power, usefulness, etc. It's like, all right, whatever, fuck me. Like, I'm the one who supposedly hates women over here, but you know, you carry on.
It's like you guys go out of your way to force this relationship upon her with a mass murderer and a psychopath that tortures her. But yeah, we're the weird ones. Let me read a couple super chats. Okay, so let's see here. From Gunnar Renee Oi, thank you for the super chat. Are you talking about Shrek? No, we're not. Not talking about Shrek.
Oh, that was what we were talking about. Something. I'm trying to remember when that one came in because it gave me a chuckle because we were talking about someone being ugly. But I don't remember.
Someone being ugly.
It gave me a chuckle when it came in, but I can't remember exactly what we were talking about when it did. It was like right at the very beginning. I'm trying to remember exactly what we were talking about right at the beginning. Probably Raylos. We were probably talking about Raylos, and they're like, "Are you talking about Shrek being terrible and gross and this?" Nope.
Adam Wolford, thank you for the super chat. Willow movie did it better. Yes, it did. Oh yep. Yeah, because in Willow, Mad Madigan, he and the girl, you know, she's sent to kill him for her mom, and he gets the little, like, the fairy dust potion on him from the brownies, and then he's just like, I love her, oh, her hair, and he's trying to, like, get all up in that.
Oh God, yeah.
That's still a better love story. And that actually was a love story because they end up together at the end. Mackenzie Peters, thank you for the super chat. Rey is dangerous, is a dangerous character to everyone. Well, not in this art. In this art, she's a little tiny.
Also, look at the way she's drawn. Yeah, Daisy Ridley's not exactly buff or curvaceous or anything like that, but she's a fucking toothpick. You could break her in half.
I know. I was thinking that. I'm like, God, I feel like I should stop eating.
I'm rocking my Corona body, and I'm proud.
Maggie, thank you for the super chat. It's a little unicorn sticker. Thank you. Tippy Tail McKitty, thank you for the unicorn sticker as well.
You got that name.
Gene the Machine, thank you for the super chat. the Force Awakens flashback, child Rey cries for the ship to don't leave. Turns out to be the murder of her parents, which means she has Stockholm Syndrome. Yeah. That's true. That's very, very true. Yeah.
That's a good point.
Well, I don't think that her parents got. I'm trying to blame because that movie was just giving me a headache. I think that they got because did they get murdered on Jakku? Or she obviously wasn't there when they were murdered, so she might not know that they got murdered. But yeah.
I don't think it was a case of like they were murdered in front of her and the ship was them leaving or whatever. I think it's she was ditched there for her safety and whatnot, and they were hunted down later after the fact. But could be.
Oh God, Emperor and Empress.
Oh please no.
Oh,
of what? Emperor and Empress of what? Looks like possibly heaven, which good, stay there. But like, what are they? Emperor and Empress of the Galaxy. Yeah, about that, the Emperor is a bad guy.
Yeah.
So your version, he just takes the mantle of Emperor Palpatine. She follows her grandmother and they fucking rule the galaxy
together.
Wait, hold on. Does he have a soul patch or is that just a shadow? I can't.
I think that's a shadow.
I hope so, because goddamn, I'd be like that. That is, again, no one to criticize the artist too much, but if you had if you thrown a soul patch on Adam Driver,
I would have laughed. But again, they go out of their way to make Kylo look more attractive than he is. But even now, I'm like, he actually looks. I don't know how would I put it. He looks younger. He
does. He always looks younger, more boyish, more innocent. I guess in a way, not as grizzled. And she actually in this one looks almost older and more maternal. Weirdly enough, more regal. It's cool. It's this one. I love the concept, like visually of what you're presenting. But then you look at the thematic material and you're like, oh, so in your mind they take over the fucking galaxy. Like this is so far beyond.
I am gonna say, which when people and I am gonna explain something. If this ever gets clipped, they're gonna lose their fucking minds. So this is actually a photograph. And they put a blur layer and a few other filters on it. So the only thing that's actually drawn here, well, maybe they went in and painted a couple of things before they blurred the background. But this is the art. This is a drawing, and the background is a photograph that's had a couple filters on it. So
is she grabbing his butt? No, she's touching his arm. I thought she was trying to like reach around to grab his butt or something, but she's just. At least in this one, it looks like she's the one in charge and he's the one going moony eyes for her.
The one thing that I would have done though, but I do like that this is open space right here, but I would have had the yellow on this side. So
it contrasts with the color.
So that way it would have had a contrast of him to make them pop more.
Yeah.
But because right now I'm looking right, like this is where my eye gets drawn, like right here instead of them. But that's just my little critique. Oh, Captain Chokeout. This is we're doing some Reylo art reviews.
Read the name of this article too, because the name of the article too is just like, or I can pull it up as I got it right here as well.
It's Star Wars 10 amazing pieces of Reylo fan art that will make you miss them. No, it does not.
No. This is, why would you think that anybody misses this? This is just no.
We're glad that it's over. But hey guys, we're on number 4, so we have only a few more to go. That's good. Okay, so this one is Be With Me. So The Rise of Skywalker inspired me to draw corresponding piece to my old Hellfire fan art. Oh my god, are you talking about Hellfire from, you know what that's from, Jessi? Notre Dame, where Frollo is singing to the fire about how he wants to rape Esmeralda, and if she doesn't succumb to him, he's going to burn her alive.
Oh, that's delightful.
Is that the one? If they're talking about that, then this is demented.
Maybe. I don't know what they're referencing, but this is creepy.
I will give the artist this. This is actually very nicely digitally painted. It looks really good. The subject matter, though, however, is very disturbing. I'm glad that you actually got his nose, and from the angle, it looks to look like him. Does look too much like her, but I get it. It's a style choice. But yeah.
But this again, the Be with me, this pathetic that she's this fucking powerful ass Jedi, whatever, and this guy that she barely knows that she really doesn't have a connection to fucking dies, and she's all bent out of shape about it, crying, be with me, I'm lost without you. Like, what the fuck is this? This devotional, making them the emperor and empress, this freaking devotional level of fan art. It's just like,
well,
it's one thing with drawing.
And she didn't even cry. She didn't. If the love of your life dies, or if somebody that you're in love with, maybe you're just in the honeymoon phase of whatever it is, wouldn't you cry? Wouldn't you be like, no, I lost the person that I love? She just gets up and leaves.
She's like, cool, that happened.
And then she goes off to everyone, and she's all partying with everyone. She sees Poe, Finn, and all of them, and she hugs them, and she's like, yeah, let's party. They're all dead. I'm like, wow.
Whereas, like, even the end of Return of the Jedi has that somber moment of, burning Darth Vader and Luke's connection to him and stuff like that. Nope, Rise of Skywalker, she fucking walks away, doesn't give a second goddamn thought. She's more concerned about Luke's legacy at the end of the damn movie than she is, which actually, now that one's rephrasing that, it's very sloppily done, poorly executed, and I hate that she goes back to Tatooine, and she has no business handling Luke's legacy at all, because all she ever did was disrespect it. But I'm like, oh, that's an interesting callback to End of Return of the Jedi. Again, the nice thing about the way I like the way Return of the Jedi did it, where it was a moment, and that's what Jeff and I were talking about too. Is like the whole Luke's journey and Luke's struggle with Darth Vader is a moment in the midst of this gigantic epic battle that has way larger repercussions for the universe, not for Luke, not for Darth Vader, obviously, but in the context of the universe, it's bigger. The story of Star Wars, called Star Wars, it's not called, it was originally to be Luke Starkiller, and I think that was a good shift. Luke, it's his adventures, we care about that, but they're set in the context of this bigger battle, and so when that's all resolved at the end of Return of the Jedi, it's a big giant celebration. And so yes, Luke is going to have his aside, his moment of me and my father, and this is important, contextualized in the larger story that he's also a part of. Whereas Rise of Skywalker is like, all right, everyone's celebrating, we're dead, everyone's dead at the end, blah. Now let's go to this overly dramatic moment of her going back to Tatooine and bringing everything full circle and paying the homage to the Skywalker lineage and blah, 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 blah. It's like just heavy-handed, clumsy, it's like someone sat Kathleen Kennedy down and was like, okay, here's all the things you need to do to make the Star Wars sequels good. And she went, okay, took notes, right? Took half the notes, took the page, tore it in half, right? Threw one half away, tried to recreate some of the things from memory, and didn't do a very good job. That's she's like, yeah, let's take notes, let's erase half of them and just make up the rest. And yeah, I know what I'm supposed to do. And so like 50% of the time, let's do the polar opposite. The other 50% of the time, let's do it in the most clumsy, heavy-handed, warped way possibly imaginable.
It makes absolutely no sense. So what it says here is that the Hellfire was the artist's work from 2015. Rey was ignited by light. She looked like a star as she hugged Kylo. I don't want to see it.
I don't.
Okay, let's go back. All right, number 2, so that we only have 2 left, guys, and then we don't have to look at these anymore. Join the dark side. Oh my.
Okay.
It's very like a vampire right here.
This one I will accept more than some of the other ones we've seen, because I feel like this one just straight up leans into what this is, right? This is a fantasy ship. It's a fantasy world where, sure, Kylo Ren and Rey, because they do this like vampires, they can be vampire Sith Lords together, and Rey can be this evil queen who looks nothing like Rey. Especially in the second picture, like she doesn't look like Rey at all. Whereas which is
kind of got the pointed nose, but
I think he kind of does look like Adam Driver.
Like a fan fiction, like if she did go to the dark side and they both, that would actually have been a lot more interesting. And that would have made a lot more sense if it's like, because based on everything that she does, I'm like, it would have made I feel like I would have liked it a little bit more if this was showing it's set up the way it's marketed is that, oh, she's going to be the ultimate Jedi Force user, she's a Mary Sue, but then at the end it's like, oh, she turned to the dark side, oh, she's evil, this was a setup for her to be evil. That would have actually been, I mean, you could look at it from a completely different lens in that light,
Oh, sure. So yeah, so I can appreciate this because again, yeah, I think it's realistic, and I agree with you 100% on that point. If they had made the dark side, if they set it up as this beacon of light and goodness and all that, blah blah blah, and she just like one day turned it on and was like, "I'm a fucking bitch," I would have been a little more down for that, a lot more down.
Let me read this. Thank you so much, GD Chapel. Thank you so much for the $50 super chat. I sincerely appreciate that. You two, the Fandom Menace and the Critical Drinker, have given me so much joy. Thank you for doing what you do. Please continue being the shining beacons of common sense that you have been. Good entertainment isn't dead. It's just tucked away on YouTube. Thank you. Oh, that was very kind of you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I have so many people. I'm sure you get this too, Jessi. Like when you do streams and stuff, and so many people comment, they're like, "This is better than like television," because it's not censored. It's just live on the spot, the way that we feel about things. And I was thinking about that because somebody commented on one of mine and Cecil's streams because I revealed that I thought the show The Sopranos was about singers. I did, and people were losing their minds, and I'm like, I thought it was called The Sopranos because I thought it was like Glee.
You can't write this shit. You can't write this
well, Cecil lost his mind, and everyone in the chat was screaming at me, and so I've had so many people say that. Yeah, so but ever since then I'm like, you know what? Actually, I kind of see what people mean by that because I like to watch shows. They're like I always say, EFAP is my favorite show, and it's better than TV. You can't get that kind of stuff on TV. Find it on YouTube. So thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Is awesome. And actually, I was texting Jeff. He's in the bathroom, and I was what. Where am I in playback all of a sudden? Because I wanted, since you mentioned Critical Drinker, that brought up something fun that you guys will appreciate. Exciting news that for the High Council, they're trying to do it for next week, I think. They're trying to do a British invasion High Council, or not really British, but an overseas kind of High Council. So I think they've already got Mahler locked in, but they're actually trying to get the Critical Drinker to come on. For the council, so
you should have
Chapel. If you're, if you like him, he might be making his first Fandom Menace High Council appearance next week if they can get him. Nothing confirmed yet, but I thought of you, GD Chapel, since you sent that generous super chat. I figured I'd follow up that lead and see if I had that exciting news for you.
Oh, there you go. That'll be fun. That'll be fun to listen to. It's funny. I had only ever heard Scottish people in movies and stuff, and so I had never met one in person. And then I was working this gig, and for those of you that don't know, when you're working a gig as an artist, that means you go to a fancy smancy party and you draw people live on the spot, and you get paid a lot of money to do this, but then it's there's all these different types of people. And so I was the Scottish girl, she'd been following me around. She was waiting for me and so that way I could draw her. And when I was like, oh, okay. And I couldn't tell that she was Scottish because I'm just I don't know, people just, it's very hard for me to pinpoint oh, you're this, you're this, you're that. But even Jessi, I didn't know that Jessi was Jewish. I didn't know that Jessi was Jewish until hanging out with her for 4 hours and leaving. And as I was walking out her door, I saw a menorah and I was like, oh, you're Jewish?
But to be fair, there's nothing about the way I talk or look or dress that would be oh, you're a Jew,
Yeah. So, well,
Australian.
I went to go draw her, and I was asking her, I was like, oh, what colors do you want me to use? And then she started speaking, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're saying. And it's so rude when you ask people over and over again, but her accent was so strong, I could not understand a single word. And I'm like,
Thick Scottish can be really tough. I don't fault you for that one. Thick Scottish, just because some of the pronunciations get really different, especially when you're talking colors too. That's one where already there's different pronunciations for some of those weird ass colors and different language, different dialects.
I ended up just holding them up because I didn't want to ask for her to repeat it to me, and I was like, which one? And she kind of laughed because I think she knew that I couldn't understand her. But oh my, whenever I listen to Critical Drinkers videos, I'm like, I'm so glad I can understand him. That's my biggest thing. Okay, let's look at this last one. And one thing I do want to say is that the shape design in this like this is nice that you have bright colors to contrast the fact that they're in the darkness, but then you have those little call outs. I do. I think this art is good. Again, I don't really like the subject matter. And then the last one, fixed ending.
No. What?
Ew! Oh, no.
God.
No.
Oh, why? What? No. Oh, just. I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not finish this list. I know I sent it to you and whatnot. I had not gotten through it. I got to that one that I tweeted, and then I didn't go any further. So this is my first time seeing this, and I'm very distraught by this.
I love the word Uggs. That's one thing I think is funny. Yeah. It ended the way that it ended. Nothing is going to change that. And with that, we're done looking at Reylo art. We are done.
My final comment on that picture specific, if the ending was truly fixed, they would both be dead.
That's true.
If they fixed.
Mm-hmm. If the ending, if you fixed it, undo have Thanos snap the sequel trilogy out of existence. Yeah. So we're done with that. We're done with Reylo, guys. It took us 55 minutes to get through that. Holy crap. I am going to read some super chats, and then we are going to move on to our second topic for the night, which is, guess what? Guess what we're going to talk about, guys? Racism. Racist, because I've been getting called that the past day and a half.
Racist.
Apparently, liking a cosplay makes you racist. But we're going to talk about that after I read a few of these super chats. I'm actually surprised that
apparently liking a non-racist cosplay makes you racist.
Apparently. Let's see. Mackenzie Peters, thank you for the super chat. Question for Mindless Entertainment. Can you snap Ray with mental though?
Can I? What was it? What?
Oh, with mental thought. Sorry. Can you snap Ray with mental thought? Yes. Can you?
Can I just? Do I have the force power myself to just fuck up Ray?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably. Let me at her. Put it that way. Let me at her, and then I will.
Hopefully, you can. Let's see.
I can certainly best her with a goddamn lightsaber. She can't swing that thing for shit. So.
Adam Wooford, thank you for the super chat. Shouldn't she went back to Naboo instead? I don't know. I just wanted to
arguably. If you're saying like go back to her parentage, that's where Palpatine was from, right? He's originally wasn't he from Naboo? He was like the chancellor from Naboo.
Yeah, he murdered his entire family. Though he has no family left.
But I mean, if you go back to your origins, that's where she should arguably go. Because that is not her origin. The Tatooine is not where she came from. She's never been there before. Luke Skywalker isn't her fucking dad, or anything to her. Barely even taught her anything because she already knew it all.
Jimmy Freckles, thank you for the super chat. It's a little heart. Thank you. We appreciate that. Well, I mean, technically, because Palpatine made Anakin, Luke is like her great uncle.
Okay.
Or no, she's his great aunt.
By that logic.
Which makes Reylo incest. So everything we just looked at is incest.
That's a very accepted thing that Anakin is evil.
Well, it was in the Disney canon comic.
There you go. So it's canon. According to their own canon, then Reylo is incest.
Let me read this as it come in. Mackenzie Peters, thank you for the super chat. Rey should have stayed on Jakku where she belongs. Should have just go back to the pit of thought where it came from and should not exist. All right, next topic. Guess what we're going to talk about? Racism and cosplay and how liking a cosplay makes you racist. So this is a article from Bounding Into Comics, kind of what happened yesterday. So this is a cosplayer that I followed on Instagram for, I think, at least a year. And I think she's really great. Everything that I don't know all the characters that she cosplays as, but when I see ones that I do know, I really like it. I think she did a fantastic job cosplaying as Starfire. Let's see if it'll go. So this is
incredible.
this is the version that she posted showing this is the version of Starfire she is cosplaying as. You can see that, and you can see how she did that, right?
Pretty
and me,
solid. Yeah, pretty solid, pretty well done.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything bad about this. She even did like the full body one to show.
Mama, that figure. I was watching like her, look at her sitting. It's like, look at, goddamn, look at that body.
Well, she's 6 feet tall.
Jesus Christ, it's like 90% legs and curves.
She's from the Netherlands, and like that's what she does. She takes the picture where she's sitting down so you can get an up close like face shot, and then she'll stand so you can see the entire outfit. And she does like a head to toe look every time. And I'm like, she doesn't have a bunch of people there with her to do her hair, to do her makeup, to put the costume on her. She literally does it all herself.
Because if she had people there, she'd probably have someone else take the picture.
I know.
Which is awesome. Don't say this. That's how you can clearly tell, which is awesome that she's just one person putting this together on her own. That's incredibly talentful.
And so I decided, hey, that looks really awesome. And so I did this tweet, and I said, when cosplayers do it better than studios can. By the way, this girl is awesome. Been following on Insta for a while now, and she absolutely nails it every time. She does. She fucking destroys whenever she cosplays. And again, I had to explain this to people. Studios do not just mean live action studios. There are animation studios. There are comic book studios. There are video game studios. There are not just live action movie and TV studios. When I said this, it's one of those things that I actually genuinely feel that cosplayers always, well, I shouldn't say always because they don't have CGI, but when I see cosplayers, I'm like, they put their heart and soul into making their costumes. They put like entire paychecks into doing those costumes. When you see cosplayers, they are hardcore fans, and they do it because they love it. They're not getting money from it unless they have some kind of platform where they can post pictures and stuff, but they're not getting big Hollywood studio budgets. And when you see a cosplayer that creates an entire costume that it's not even a real costume in the movie, it's all CG, that's amazing. I stand by this. Cosplayers do it better than studios, in my opinion, 99.9% of the time. What do you think, Jess?
I am with you. Well, I am with you 100%. I was actually just thinking about that. This reminded me, my friend does cosplay herself. She also, she's designed, she's a costumer. So by the way, if you guys ever want, if anyone out there ever needs cosplay on commission, my friend does incredible cosplays. You can follow her on Instagram at Cosplay by Red. She does have a picture of her Gamora up here. So apparently she's racist too, since Zoe Saldana's black. But that's you can kind of see it. She did a full green body paint on that. And obviously she's bigger than Zoe Saldana, wider. But like that, she went full green paint, all this stuff. Like, I think it looked fantastic. But that's just me. So I'm with you on that. But again, I was like, oh, I guess she's racist now, though, because Zoe Saldana's black. So
well, that's not even it. It's like there are different versions of the character, and so all of these people said, like, "Are you racist?" And it's all these crazy tweets, and they're insulting.
Exactly. And the idiocy, the lunacy. We don't even get into the additional lunacy of how this is the black woman playing her on the show is not even the first iteration of the character, not even close. You have the fact for like, my brain just totally dropped my train. Oh yeah, it's like, what message are you saying to kids? What message are you sending to kids when you're like, no, you can't dress up as this character unless you're that race? I mean, like the whole point of art isn't such a beautiful thing about like childhood and not knowing that, not caring. It's like some kids wanted to be the Black Ranger. I wanted to be the Red Ranger when I was a kid. I'm not a boy, but I wanted to be the Red Ranger. Am I not allowed to be the Red Ranger because I'm not a boy? Am I not allowed to dress up as certain characters because I'm not, like, when did that suddenly become a thing? I can't dress up as a character because I'm not their race. I can't dress up as a mantis because I'm not part Asian. Like,
It makes absolutely no sense. And these people are insane. They were calling me racist. They were insulting the cosplayer, saying that she had a Party City wig and that she can't act. And I'm like, when on earth was cosplaying ever have you ever seen a cosplayer that says, or like every single cosplayer, they're like, oh, my goal out of cosplaying is to become an actor or actress. No, they do it because they have fun. And yes, there probably are some cosplayers that are actors or actresses, but that's not this girl's goal. That, as far as I'm aware, I've never seen her say that she's aspiring to become an actor or an actress. She just does this because she loves it, you know? But they're making it all, they're saying that I'm racist. They're saying that she was racist. I actually reached out and I messaged her. I messaged Luca and I said, hey, like, I'm so sorry all this is happening. Like, I hope that you're okay. Don't let it get to you. You know, you look awesome and like you did a great job. And she told me that, you know, they were harassing her and saying that she was racist for dressing up like this. And she was even getting death threats. And I'm like, oh my God, these people are insane. You know? And Starfire is an alien. She is an alien. Anyone can dress up like her. Let me actually pull it up because and this is a lot of people. They were like, do they not realize that black girls cosplay as her too? Right. Let me see if I can find it. It's been a minute. But it was in one of these threads where these people were going absolutely crazy. But it just blows my mind. The way that
I'm gonna go follow her now because she deserves it. Because fuck everyone. Wanderlust Luca. Is that her? Wanderlust Luca.
Can't find it right now, but it is a thing. I think that might actually be her. But it's just like these kind of comments. I know the racism is frying what little brains you had, but Corey doesn't wear her suit 24/7, and Corey hasn't even gotten her suit. Titans has many faults, but suits are. It's like nobody said that. And then they said, I doubt they put her in a cheap suit got from Amazon. These people are fucking insane. They're saying, and I'm like, I never compared her. It's not like I put her picture up next to that and said, oh, wow, she completely nailed that version of Starfire. I'm like, no, the version of Starfire that she was cosplaying as was, let me see if I can get it up here. She specifically shows this is the version she was cosplaying as. She wasn't cosplaying as the one from the TV show. These people
correct me if I'm wrong. Starfire is an alien.
Yes.
When was the last time you met an African American alien? She is an alien. She has been drawn by multiple artists in multiple iterations, very few of which look resoundingly solidly black. Like, there's definitely some of her original. Jeff was even showing me some of her original art. You're like, okay. There was one picture she showed me. I'm like, that sort of looks like a chick with, like, you know, sort of femme kind of hookery chick from a blaxploitation film. I see that. But then most of the other ones, it's like very generic, stylized to like a very glam version of whatever, you know, whatever decade she's being drawn in. And in different versions, I mean, plenty of versions make her look very, very white. Some are a little more ambiguous as to what she is or could be. You know, but again, at the end of the day, she's a fucking alien with orange in the early version with orange skin. So what? Do you put on orange makeup? Are they going to be like she's being even more? Did you say someone accusing her of being in blackface too?
Oh yeah, like it's right here. This is blackface. I'm like,
how do you know what blackface is? Do you not know what the thing is? Blackface is not someone dressing up in the costume of an African American person. Blackface is not someone even pretending to be that character or whatever. Blackface is something very specific that has a very specific and complicated, racially charged, obviously, history for the Black community. It's not just the act of like, I dressed up as this character. Like there would have to be some type of, I mean, sorry, because she does a lot of makeup on this, and all of her makeup is skin tone is appropriate for her own skin tone, and her eyes and her lipstick and all that stuff for the superhero she is trying to emulate. No part of her makeup screams exaggerated African American features. That's literally what blackface is. It's not some now made up SJW term that you get to apply to anybody appropriating your supposed culture.
Let me see. So she had, because she is very pale complexion. People were like, well, she's not even orange. I'm like, she made herself look more orange than she naturally is, but she did it to make it look natural. She did it to make it look like she has this orange glow about her, which, hey, when you look at it, it does. It looks like it's natural. Like she just has an orange tint to her skin tone, which is exactly what this cosplayer did. Nothing about this is blackface. Nothing about this is cultural the negative connotations and everything. These people are in fucking sane.
And they're in a rage over this.
They were. Look, and I mean, you could even go and look at my Twitter timeline, and you can see what she said. Like, this was her response to my my little Hose Be Crazy. Here, I'll play it so you guys can watch my Hose Be Crazy video, because I think it's funny.
Hose Be Crazy. So I did this whole tweet about cosplayer that I like. I even had to go on freaking incognito mode so that way I can go show you all this, because apparently me doing this tweet saying, oh, yo, I like this cosplayer, I think she's freaking awesome, equals racist, equals racism. In fucking thing, let's go back. So look at, like, two white cosplayers, I'm pretty sure she's freaking Asian, or she's got some Asian in her. She looks kind of like it, I don't know. But then people are saying I'm racist. I didn't even fucking compare her to this chick. I didn't. Before all of this shit happened, I actually had forgotten this chick fucking existed and this show existed. Excuse you, but people have been losing their freaking minds. Absolutely been losing their minds. Hoes be crazy. They're insulting me. They're calling me racist. They're insulting the cosplayer. It's insane. It's insane. All because they don't understand that there's different versions of Starfire. Like or not, yes, this is a version of Starfire. I haven't watched the show. I don't really have an opinion on it. Again, like, if all these crazies weren't coming at me today, I would have forgotten that this thing even freaking existed. But guess what? The girl that cosplayed did do a version of Starfire, because guess what? Guess what? I'm going to blow your fucking mind. There's different versions of each, of almost every single character out there. Holy shit. And that, wow, what an epiphany. But so they're just going by and they're saying that it's racist. They're saying it's racist. I'm like, did you not fucking read the tweet? You're making a comparison that didn't exist. I never compared this cosplayer to this actress. Never in my entire tweet. But these people are reading on Twitter and losing their absolute fucking mind. This person's like, you started it. I'm like, again, where the fuck did I say it? Oh yeah, that's right. I didn't. I didn't say. You do realize there's animation studios, there's comic book studios. Oh my god, there's video game studios, and yes, there are live action studios. Was I talking about that? No, I was making a general statement about how cosplayers are fucking awesome. That's it. And then of course these psychos lose their mind, lose their fucking mind. Hoes be crazy.
I love it. I love it. Oh god, so that's one of these, and even you scroll past one of those images, and that's literally, of course they put the black actress next up to those drawings, literally the only ones I could find where you're like, okay, this original drawing of this character has certain attributes or features that you could say might be black. But again, at the time, the big hair and the curves and that was of the time as well. You know, she was originally created in the 70s, I think. So it's not necessarily even then, honestly, really with a tint to her skin. She's fucking orange. Where were you guys? Were you guys screaming racism when there was the rumor that Brie Larson was going to play Ahsoka? Because she's fucking orange too. They did end up going with not Brie Larson, thank the fucking gods, but no one was out there going like, oh, it's so racist they're gonna have Brie Larson play Ahsoka when that character is clearly drawn with darker skin. Like, what the fuck?
Well, Shut even up. If you look at like Ahsoka's features, I'm sorry, if you're naturally like this and you're white, I apologize, but unless you're injecting your lips with the silicone, when I look at Ahsoka, I'm like, I honestly thought, when you look at Ahsoka, immediately in my head, I'm like, she looks like Rosario Dawson, which the casting is perfect for. Ahsoka has big old eyes, an itty bitty little nose, and big old lips. Yeah. What does Rosario Dawson have? Big eyes and big lips. Yes, and I'm not meaning that in a negative way. It fits her face. It looks good. It's like you wouldn't cast, like somebody like me or Jessi, who, I think I have small eyes and like thin lips. And I mean, I think Jessi's eyes look bigger than mine, but that's because they're blue and blue eyes are big.
They're like regular. I think I have pretty regular to smallish eyes and pretty regular lips. I think your lips are bigger than mine, actually, though.
I have makeup on.
Let's look at my face for a second. My eyes do this a lot, but
they do.
They're like their natural state of being. I'm not wearing any like wings or anything that I think open them up a little bit, but their natural state of being is pretty like decent size, but they're not like big wide. My mouth is funny though. My lips are like my mouth never is straight.
I do my makeup, so it looks bigger, but That's what happens. That's why girls wear the wings. It makes your eyes look bigger.
Sure.
But yeah, the casting was good. But all of this insanity, and I'm like, it's not like the cosplayer was trying to cosplay like this and failed, you know? It's not like she went and painted her skin brown so she could look and get a curly haired wig and get a fur coat and this purple dress to make her look like this actress. She never did. The one thing that I'm more concerned about, but I haven't seen the show, so somebody that has seen the show might be able to explain to me. It's called Teen Titans, and I know that they don't have the teen, they just have it called Titans. And I'm like, I don't know how old this actress is, but this is a mature woman, not a teenager.
She's like at least 40.
Well, black women age a lot more gracefully than white women do.
So she could be 60 is what you're saying.
No, I'm saying like she could just like she's a little bit more mature looking. So I thought she maybe like was in her 30s, not 40s, but I don't know. I don't know anything about her. Mm-hmm. But like it's like all of this, like someone is racist. You were laughing about racist jokes in the replies. We can see the deleted tweets, baby.
What racist replies?
I don't delete
the racist fucking replies because there's nothing racist about anything that's happened here. I can't imagine anyone said, and I'm saying this cosplay is better than looks better than this design that they created around the actress for the show isn't racist. Like it's not racist to say that's the society we live in though. You're not allowed to say a white that's the whole joke. The whole joke of it is like she's so clearly not even white. Like you can see look at the chick's face, the cosplayer. She's obviously not white. Like she's obviously not pure Caucasian. That's clear in her face for a half a fucking second. But let's say she was. It's this lunacy of the world we live in where it's like a black guy did some, a white guy did some. You think guy you're racist, even if you're fucking right. We set a black chick down and a white chick down. They took a multiple choice fucking test, and the white chick got 75%, 75%. The black chick got 38%. But if you say the white chick did better on the test than the black chick, you're racist. What the fuck is this? Like you can't even. It's eggshells and delicacy. Don't talk about this. Don't say this. Don't hurt their feelings. Don't hurt their feelings. Meanwhile, you have people still getting fucking lynched in the South. Actually lynched, which is apparently a complicated issue, which we can, that's my side of things. So is there more you wanted to go on this real quick before
I was just going to say like these are actually, because I was going to say I hadn't seen these, but this is actually to Luca, the Wanderlust Luca, that's the cosplayer. They said someone is racist. You were laughing about racist jokes in the replies. We can see your deleted tweets, baby. Girl, the tweet is literally racist. Putting down the actress. What the fuck? And so she actually told me that what somebody had said was somebody commented because she did a post where she posted her cosplay and somebody said like, oh, we think that you like did a much better job than the TV show, and she liked it because somebody was giving her a compliment. And she even said, she's like, I go through and I like, the nice messages, she did, when you go through and you just like heart. I used to do that. That's a lot of things. People will say, Anna, why don't you respond to comments? Why don't you do this? Because on YouTube, comments, well, on YouTube, people can edit what they say. So sometimes if there's a hater and if they know that you go through and you like all the comments, they'll edit it to make it sound like something racist or something crazy to make you look bad. But it's like, no, they edited it. So that's why I don't like, comments anymore, unless it's like a person that I know and that comments regularly.
Yeah.
But like these people are insane. Girl, the tweet is literally racist and putting down the actress. What the fuck? Nope. Maybe stop liking hateful racist tweets. Not racist. Yet you post this. I don't.
That know. One. That was Yeah, I saw that when we were scrolling through the Starfire we deserve. This is the Starfire we got. Again, not necessarily a comment on race whatsoever. Not
just,
on race whatsoever. Maybe just a comment on costume design. What's up? Did you ever think it was just a comment on costume design, maybe? Not on skin color? That ever crossed anyone's fucking mind? Nope. Does not even remotely occur to them to be like, oh, well, maybe immediate racism. Everything is fucking racism with these people. It's mind-boggling. It's absolutely mind-boggling how you look at this and you're like, racism. This is what this is. This is that's you're jumped. I mean, like, if you're holding a hammer, everything's a nail. If you're going through the internet looking for everything to be fucking racist, everything's gonna be fucking racist. That's just It's just that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. And the absurdity of this is boggling my are people that bored? Are people that bored and lonely? Well, this is a Jessi show now. But are people really that bored and lonely in quarantine that they have to, that they're reverting to this level? I mean, this to me feels like more than before. I don't know. I could be wrong. Chat, what do you think? Is this where we've been at the past year, or just statistically? For me, what it feels like, it's the people running blind, basically, right? Metaphor time. You know me, I like my weirdo my elaborate metaphors, right? People just running a race blind. Race blind. I didn't even mean to say that. Here's the finish line. And here they go. And because they're fucking blindfolded, there they go, right past it. Oh, man, let's oust Harvey Weinstein for being a fucking racist and spark this national conversation about what consent actually means. And around that time and just before that time, there'd been the push for legislature, which I think was good, to get rid of the idea that silence is consent. I think only fucked up people think silence is consent. I thought that was a pretty solid reinterpretation of many laws when it comes to consent. Another push, and I thought the positive change in the dialogue and the narrative to put it out there. Let's all be on the same page, because the reality is, I don't think anyone is ever I don't think most people are rapists. I don't think most people in a situation where they take silence to be consent are necessarily, or even always meaning to be what they are. But sometimes in the heat of passion, the heat of the moment, whatever, you don't think about it. So when we got the silence is consent is not consent conversation going, fine, that's cool, that's whatever it is. And then you ran right past it, and it turned into nothing is consent unless you have a fucking written permission slip from them. And that's exactly what's happened with the race conversation too. Oh, let's look at racism in America and how I don't even know where it started, what the core issues that was being addressed. You have valid things like the one I want to talk about, where you're like, okay, is there a racial disparity happening in this society that's leading to differing perspectives, differing views on how different races operate in the community, and therefore the legal system is being applied differently. Okay, sure, that's a valid conversation. Let's run right the fuck past that and now start calling cosplay racist. So
this is funny. Jessi is a psycho. Jessi's a psycho in the best way possible. Thank you, John P. And then Beth Digout, thank you for the super chat. But Jessi, it's not their fault. Racist is their default setting, apparently. But I'm so sorry. My computer went black and my computer decided to restart randomly. It does that every now and again. It drives me insane because I don't know why.
You were still in for a minute before, I think.
I pulled it up on my phone so I could see what you were seeing, and I saw myself frozen because I went to go lean over and check my computer.
Yeah.
But the insanity is run rampant. Let me try to get the screen share back.
I figured I went into yelling mode until you came back.
Oh, that's fine. Give the people what they want,
That's theoretically why they're here. Even my cat's looking at me. He's like, "Mom, you can yell some more."
Mommy, what's going on? But it's oh yeah, then this is my video. But that's the end of the article. But yeah, people went fucking insane because they thought that this was racist.
This is all right. So that apparently is racist. Right?
Apparently cosplaying as a character is racist.
You know what's not racist, according to an unfortunate number of people? What's not racist is two white dudes living in their little neighborhood down in rural Georgia with all their guns, playing vigilante sheriff, who see a black guy running and decide he is clearly a felon and they're going to arrest him. And they chase him down, and when he is being accosted by these men who are waving guns at him, this man went to, go after the guy with the shotgun, and then he gets shot to death by the shotgun and is dead. But nope, that clearly he was asking for it and he was up to something. Because to me, that narrative, and there's more pieces to it, and I'll get into it. I don't want to sell this short, because yes, there are a lot of pieces. There are a lot of variables. So this man, Ahmaud Arbery, is the guy who was shot down in Georgia. And so that's so a lot of people are out there being like, there was nothing racist to do with this. Everyone's in the right, and he's a bad guy. I mean, no one's even saying he's a felon in the chat. I haven't been able to find out if his conviction shoplifting was a felony conviction or not, right? Because the only thing on his rap, he was indicted for bringing a handgun to a basketball game, but he was not convicted. He was convicted previously, 2 years previously, of shoplifting, and then violated his probation. So if he was on probation, he didn't serve any jail time. Well, parole was probation, so he never served jail time. So I don't know if it was shoplifting felony or shoplifting misdemeanor. It depends on the value of the stuff you stole. There's confounding variables there, whatnot. That's on his record. That's back in the day. And the cop did know this because the guy who shot him was an ex-cop, actually. An ex-cop. And at the time had been working in the DA and actually did handle the prosecution for this guy. So this guy knows this black man, right? Now, prior to this jog where he gets shot, or during it, theoretically, he goes into this house that's being built, wanders into this construction site, wanders out, doesn't take anything. Is he casing it to steal something? Who knows? Is he the person who stole something months before? Possibly. A lot of these, nothing confirmed. Somebody claims that, or the shooter claimed that per the surveillance footage, this is the same guy who stole something from Igor Bondar. I will address that. Don't you worry. I will address that. We'll get there. The shooter claims that he saw the surveillance footage of the stuff that happened at the property previously.
Let me see if I can find this. What is it called? Just
look up Ahmed Arbery or jogger in Georgia. Now, the reason I'm trying to, so I want to lay things out is, minimalistic positive. They don't need to get into all of this in the splitting hairs, and because there are facts, there are confirmed actual facts, and there is a lot of speculation. For example, was he the guy that stole the fishing gear out of his house earlier that month that was never reported by the actual homeowners? Who knows? Because realistically, whatchamacallit, the surveillance footage was never submitted to the police. It was not submitted to Mr. McMichaels, who claims that this guy is the same guy from that footage, because he went and asked the homeowner for that footage and was denied. So why did he walk into the house? Who knows? It doesn't really matter. The reality is these two guys, yes, those are the two guys who shot him, did not see him enter or exit the property. They didn't whatchamacallit, they didn't see him enter or exit the property. They saw him running down the street, got their guns, confronted him. He went for the guy with the shotgun. The father that had the shotgun. 2 shots he was killed by 2 blasts of the shotgun. Those are, again, the facts. Now, if you read the statement by the guy who recorded this guy is a friend of the McMichaels. He followed them when he saw them get in their truck. He figured, I don't know what's happening. They're going after this guy. He didn't recognize the guy they were pursuing. So he's like, I got into my car to follow them and videotape it, right? So this is not somebody who's out here being like, I watch these guys do this racist thing. He's a friend of the guys doing the shooting. So his statement is not trying to protect this gentleman who died. His statement is hopefully fact-based, or if anything, swayed towards their perspective. His the way that everyone's like, oh, well, he went after the guy with the gun. He went after the guy with the gun. He went after the guy with the gun. The way that the events happened, per the statement from the guy who took the video, was the McMichaels got in their car with their guns to pursue this man. They cut him off with their truck, at which point this Arbery confronted them, went after the shotgun, and then got shot to death. And so people, he went after me. Should have gone after with the gun. Georgia has stand your ground laws. Georgia has stand your ground self-defense laws. Okay, they have open carry laws as well. Yes, so you're allowed to ride around with your guns. Now, in the video, clearly these men are not open carrying; they are brandishing. Very important distinction. Leo Lick 69, 3 shots fired to hit him, so 1 shot did not hit him. According to the coroner's report, he was killed by 2 gunshots. So the third one, yes, the gun went off 3 times, but only 2 shots killed him. But
this is I don't know if this is like, where did it hit him? Like in
the chest. It's unclear.
In the chest.
He went after the guy holding the shotgun. He's wrestling with the gun, and then he gets shot in the chest. And because the car obscures some of this, and it's not clear when and how exactly the gun goes off. But based on, I think, the McMichael's statements, I think Gregory says he shot him. You know, he was dressing right and he shot him. So
let me address this. I know that this is a Star Wars channel. Jessi did want to talk about this, and it's fine because we're talking about or we were talking about racism with this. I usually don't talk about this kind of stuff on my channel, and I don't get into politics. Jessi does. So, you know, she is my co-host. I'm fine with her talking about what she wants to talk about. I won't discuss it, but this is something that Jessi is going to talk about, which I wouldn't have her on my channel if I didn't feel comfortable with her doing that.
And I am trying to be brief. I don't want to get too mired in the details. I really brought this up to draw a comparison. But so everyone's like, why did he go after the gun? Why did he go after the guy with the gun? Okay, so put yourself in his shoes in this situation. He just got caught off by two guys who are brandishing firearms. Very important distinction. Guns, carrying open carry means it's attached to you, it's strapped to you, you can see it, it's visible. You cannot have it in your hand. When you hold a gun, a firearm in your hand, you are now brandishing. Brandishing has the connotation of potentially being threatening. So if you are going for a jog, you have not committed a crime, right? Or trespassing, but I was even seeing that again, trespassing, but that's between you and the homeowners who definitely are not interested in pressing charges. Certainly not a felony, certainly nothing warranting a citizen's arrest. So you've done nothing warranting a citizen's arrest. You have two people driving behind you with guns, cutting you off on your jog, brandishing guns now. Guy in the back truck, gun in hand, guy in the front, gun in hand, all that and whatnot. So I don't think it's a wise decision to go after someone with a shotgun. But in the reality is, in this situation, he might have felt out of options. You know, he might have felt Ringy, there was a car behind him. Where is he going to turn around to? So you can think whatever you want, but at the end of the day, you know, the stand your ground law applies to him as much as anybody else. And so if someone is threatening him with a shotgun, he has every right to go and try to disarm that person. Is it dumb? Yes, it's dumb. But everyone's like, oh, armchair police, and leave it to I'm not trying to cast. That's the thing. That's the whole point that I'm trying to get at here. That frustrates the fuck out of me. We live in a world where everyone has a fucking opinion about literally fucking everything. And the second I have a fucking opinion that you don't fucking like, y'all go fucking ape shit. First of all.
Okay, Jessi.
Second of all, that's the first thing. So that pisses me off. So if I don't get to have an opinion about it, neither do fucking you. If I don't get to have an opinion about it, don't talk about it. Don't discuss it with people. Don't post about it. Shut your own mouths about it. First of all, not meaning to be aggressive and antagonistic, but it just drives me crazy because it's this bullshit policing. Well, yeah, Jessi, go tell him. You say what you want to say. You speak your mind. Don't let anyone shut you up. And the second I say something you don't want to hear about, Jessi, shut the fuck up. So that pisses me off. First of all. Second of all, what I am trying to do here is not cast judgment on the situation, not be the police officer here, not be the person saying these guys were right, they were wrong, they had poor intentions, he had good intentions, he was a good guy, he was a bad guy. But what I'm trying to get at here is we don't know those things. Those are not within our grasp to cast. I have opinions. Of course I have opinions. It's my fucking job to have opinions. I'm not trying to sit here saying Arbery was a good. The only reason that I'm even defending anything that you guys is because you guys are casting those dispersions and making those judgment calls, right? And I'm not saying all you guys. I'm not saying anybody has a wrong opinion or an invalid one, or is not entitled to think those things, or is not entitled to be mad at me or dislike the fact that I'm talking about that. That is fine. You're all out entitled to those opinions, all right? But you don't get to shut me up because suddenly I'm talking about something you don't want to hear about. That is the opposite of everything we as the Fandom Menace stand for. So. I
think, if I can interject here, I think one of the things that because it's all about tone and it's all about delivery and how people perceive the way people speak. It's like, I know you very well, so I know you're just passionate about what you're talking about. You've done your research on this topic, and one of the problems with online is that everyone has an opinion. Everyone is all of a sudden an expert on everything because they have the magical tool, which is Google. And so when I listen to you speak, it's like I'm listening and I'm, you talk so adamant and like animated and passionate about what you're talking about, because like hearing about this, I didn't know that this had happened until you told me right before we started streaming. So when I'm listening to it, it's like, I know you care about this, you're passionate about this. And so when I hear you talk about it, I'm like, I know you're listing off everything and you're explaining how you feel. Like, you don't have to say, I feel this way about it. I can hear it in your tone of voice.
Sure.
And so you're listing off all the facts, but because I think, it's on the internet, people don't know you in real life. And so when they hear you talk about it, they're like, the way that she's talking is I can tell her opinion on it. And I can tell that, you feel like there was something wrong. And so people want to counter that, or people want to say what they think and what they feel. Yeah. And so it becomes more of an argumentative type of environment. And I just experienced this with EFAP the other day with, when I was watching, they were having a debate, and in the chat, I was just commenting, oh my fucking God, over and over again, because they were getting into the semantics of how droids worked in the Phantom Menace. And the way that they were talking, though, it was the people that were the team that was against, they said the prequels were written badly. They were so, the way that they came off was so antagonistic. And so it was driving me in the chat insane. And so after, when we stopped debating, because I did get invited on because one of the guests had to leave. And so after we stopped talking about it, I'm like, oh, these guys are actually pretty chill. They're just really passionate about what they're talking about. And the way that they talk about it, it comes off as very argumentative and like antagonistic, the way that they're talking. You weren't being that way. I didn't get that from you. But I can see how when it comes, especially, this is why I'm like, I will never get into politics or current, like, non-pop culture events, is because everyone has an opinion and everyone is so passionate about that. And the second, like you said, you say something that somebody doesn't want to hear, people turn on you like that.
Yep. And this is, I experience this a lot too. It's the second I have an opinion that people don't like, it's, you should have. Trevor Anthony, she's just out of control yelling. Do I sound out of control to you, Trevor Anthony? Do I sound like I'm losing my mind? This is me. Welcome to me. I think this is a perfect introduction to people who don't know me. This is
I know it actually is.
Wonder 1,000 about shit you may like, you may not, you may agree, you may disagree. I respect the rest of you guys. I'm not going to shit and talk shit about people who have an opinion that's different from mine. You're allowed to have that. But that's part of the thing. Is like, you're fighting. Sometimes I will passionately fight stupid opinions with facts and be like, your opinion is dumb. Like, it is not my opinion that I don't have it confirmed whether Arbery was a felon or not. That is a fact. Nothing that I have read. Now, if someone has an article they want to send me that says, yes, shoplifted, convicted felon shoplifting, fine. But I know he was convicted for shoplifting and then for violating probation. I don't know if he committed a felony or not. Cat, please don't knock stuff down. I don't know if he committed a felony or not. I'm not going to state that he did or he didn't. Either way, he did not commit a felony the day that he was shot, that we know of. Could he have gone and shot someone in the face in another town hours before? Sure. But as it stands, he did not commit any felonies on this, that we know of, on this day. And that's it. And that's all, And so that's what you know. So the whole reason I brought this up first, I did not want to get mired in the semantics. But again, the only reason why I'm sitting here getting into some of this stuff is people are like, this is my dumb opinion. I'm like, well, your opinion's wrong because here are the facts that tell you why your opinions are wrong. So you can like it or not, but I have opinions on this case. I know facts on this case. I'm going to separate the two of those. Did Ahmaud Arbery deserve to die for anything? Period. End of story. No, I think we can all pretty much agree on that. People mostly are agreeing on that point. Was he wrong for attacking the guy with the shotgun? What immediately transpired to lead to those events? I can't say that. From when I watched the video, it looks like he is defending himself in a situation where he is feeling under attack. Is that the correct interpretation? Is the wrong interpretation? That's an interpretation part. I'll give you that. That's an interpretation part. We can split hairs over that point at any day. The fact part is that the laws in Georgia say that you can stand your ground. So if he felt like he was being threatened, he has the right under the law. And that's the reason why stand your ground laws are written that way. For those who don't know, there are self-defense laws where you are obliged to try to get away. In states that have elected to go with stand your ground laws, the idea behind a stand your ground law is that if you feel you are being threatened with bodily harm, you do not have to run away. You are under no obligation. The law doesn't even think you should run away. The law says you have every right to stand and fight. You have every right to stand, fight, and use lethal force if necessary if you're being threatened with serious physical bodily harm. So that's all well and good. Again, is it the wise thing to do to go after a guy holding a shotgun when you could potentially run away? Of course not. But is he still protected under the law in that situation? Depending on the events, depending on the words that were exchanged, which is not clear in the video, depending on, any instances that had transpired before the footage came out, maybe not, based on the statement from Again, the person who took the video, who's not a friend of Arbery's, doesn't know him from anyone, and the footage that I have seen, it seems to me that Arbery felt he was under attack, did not feel that there was any reason why these guys should be coming after him, and tried to defend himself. That is my opinion part. That right there, my opinion part. Again, based solely on not what I want to believe or what I think I believe, based on the statement I read from the eyewitness, and the footage that I saw that the witness recorded. So, yeah, Squisher 420. That was my feeling. That is an opinion. Again, I'm allowed to have opinions, and I'm allowed to present facts, right? And also, again, non-fact based, non-opinion based. This is very easy to look at through the. I'm not even get into my. I just want to get to my point, and we can move on from this. The whole point of this is that I made a video, went through a lot of the facts, talked about some of my opinions, etc. Dictator, that is bullshit, because I'm sorry, if you come at me with a shotgun and my only recourse is to wrestle that shit out of your hands, your life is fucking forfeit. So don't fucking try that shit. Because guess what? You never know when you're going to meet that person who does know how to disarm you with your shotgun and then takes it and beats you to death with it. Because that's what I would do. If I took a shotgun away from somebody who was threatening me, I would beat them to death with it. I wouldn't even give them the glory of shooting them with their own damn gun. But anyway, the point is, I made this video. I talked about this topic. I knew there was going to be flack. I knew there was going to be pushback. What I didn't expect was the number of people coming out and saying he was asking for it. He had it coming. Not even based on going after the shotgun, but he was bad news. Somebody literally wrote, it's just a violent criminal meeting a violent end. This guy had no history of violence. None. Yes, he had a criminal conviction. No history of violence. Bless you. Other people saying, he had it coming to him. He was a bad guy. He was bad news. He deserved, he had it coming, and stuff like that. So this is what I'm trying to get to. I don't care what you feel about the event or not the event. I don't care. You're allowed to agree, disagree. You're allowed to think that McMichaels were in the right. You're allowed to think Arbery was in the right. You're allowed to think there's shades of gray. I'm really not interested in that right now. I made the video. If you want to know my feelings on it, watch it. If you don't. If you hate me. I don't care. Frederick Grimm bringing a gun somewhere, and he was not even convicted of that. He was indicted, not convicted. Big difference. Bringing a gun somewhere, using a gun, having a gun on you, intent to use a gun. If we said anytime someone brought a gun somewhere they weren't supposed to, they're clearly intending violence, that's ridiculous. I mean, there's people, a lot of people in this country want the right to carry their gun anywhere, anytime, ever, like whenever they have it. That's fine. Again.
Well, yeah, I've had my concealed weapons permit for years now. So I
want to get one. But yeah, and that's the whole thing. Like, taking a gun somewhere doesn't mean you intend to use it. Maybe he took it there because he thought something bad was going to happen. He wanted to be able to defend himself. Who knows, right? Maybe he took it there because he wanted to pop a cab in someone's ass. Maybe he took it there because he wanted to show off to his friends because he was a badass. He was also, again, a minor at this point. 17-year-old boys make dumb decisions. So, but anyway, I digress. What I was I made this video. I wanted to get into the details a little, Anna, because you didn't really know about it. But I made this video talking about it, discussing this, and there were so many people coming out being like, again, he's a bad guy. He got what he deserved. He had it coming. He's a 25-year-old person too, who's hardly like a hardened lifelong criminal. So was he headed down that track? Was he in the neighborhood taking with people's joints, to start off his life of crime and steal shit? Maybe. I don't know. I can't say that. But either way, that doesn't justify killing someone. Again, situation, circumstance. Maybe it was a justified killing. Maybe it wasn't. In the talk back though, people acting like it's totally fine that this kid got blown away because he had it coming, because he was a criminal, because he was a bad person. He had a shoplifting charge from when he was 23 years old. How many, if every single person who got caught shoplifting when they were 23 years old is a bad person who deserved to die, we would have a very thin population. So again, I'm not saying he was a good guy. I'm not saying he was a bad guy. I'm just saying having a shoplifting eviction from 23 years old is hardly a damning, a statement on your character saying you are the world's worst human. But the point, again, the number of people saying that, where you're like, isn't that the classic racist thing of just people assuming that a black guy's up to no good, assuming that a black guy's a criminal, assuming that, because he stole something once he's like fucking gangster, all that. Like that to me is classic racism. again, someone saying these guys were in the right, they were in the clear of the law, they had every right to do what they did and keep their neighborhood safe. I don't think that's a racist statement. I think that is a perfectly valid statement based on whatever information you have to make about the case. I don't think that's a racist statement. If you're saying he had it coming, he was clearly a bad guy, he was a violent criminal, that is a racist statement. That's like, I mean, it's pretty textbook classic. Oh, well, he clearly had it coming. He clearly was bad news. He clearly was looking for trouble. You know, those are your classic in line with like, I'm not racist, I have black friends, you know, level of overt, blatant, I thought we were past this kind of stuff, which sucks. And I was surprised that was happening. I was a little taken aback. I was a little upset by it. But at the end of the day, this is what I experienced yesterday. I experienced going through all of this, confronting this and dealing with people, you know, saying, you know, things that are not racist, again, like the McMichaels did nothing wrong, or, you know, they were justified under the law in the shooting, not a racist statement. This guy was a bad news, had it coming, a racist statement. And so sifting through that all day, and now hearing that people are losing their minds on the internet because you liked an Asian cosplayer who cosplayed a character who happened to, in one of her iterations, one of her many iterations, be played by a black woman on TV, is somehow the pinnacle of racism in America? Wake the fuck up. And that's the people who are on the internet dealing with this. Like, go find, I'm not even talking about the case of the McMichaels and this and that and the killing unarmed black men and the injustice. Go find the people out there who are actually still saying, because apparently there are tons of them, shit, like, you know, this guy had it coming because he's black. All right, that's an attitude that exists in this country. As long as that attitude exists, as long as people say stuff like that, we shouldn't be wasting fucking time crying over this cosplayer is racially insensitive because she black woman did it. Now she owns that because black women need reparations and blah, blah, blah. That's a long way to make the point. But anyway, we got there in the
end. My screen is frozen.
Oh, no.
And it's not on. I don't know what's going on, but
you can't leave your people with me. They hate me now.
God damn it! It's going black. Oh my god.
Oh no! I can hold on. I promise. If you have to reboot again, I'm not going to talk about racism if we have to reboot. Okay. Yeah. All right. Sounds like we may have lost Anna again. So.
Oh, no.
Thank you for those bearing with me. Wait, did I freeze out too, or is it just no? Maybe not, because I'm moving on my end. Anna's got drunk face going, but please, can we talk about Rose? Asked aliens. I don't know if you're the same person keeping asking about Rose, or other people are asking. Is there Rose stuff going on that I don't know about? Because down to Dead Jeremy says hi, Jeff.
Hi, Dead Jeremy. Hi, internet.
Someone heard you out there.
I live inside the computer. You just can't see me.
It lives in the internet. Yeah. No, fun fact, though, for those who don't know, Jeff of World Class Bullshitters is my boyfriend. We live in the same apartment. It's very exciting, which is why, you know, things, because you look at movement swaying tick. Thundercats, oh, I have lots of things. You'll notice I touch my hair a lot. I have stuff. It's a lot of the fidgeting and the moving, and this is just the way I speak and animate and talk and live. Some of it's, I don't know, related to anxiety. Who knows? It's fun. Oh, Patrick, it's all your fault. Blame me for the bad jokes. Lewis Christensen vids, Thunder Thighs Ho should be my battle call. I'm gonna get all my big thigh chicks and yell Thunder Thighs Ho, please. Please. All right. You should draw that and like me and Hadassah and Kelly, because we all got thighs.
Yeah, but are you going to sell a t-shirt to your audience with people that probably don't know?
Got to find more thick ladies to put on there. I guess it could just be me. Thunder Thighs Ho. That's fine. Oh, the Leviathan's here. Guys, if you're just tuning in, you're missing Anna. She's having some computer issues. She had to reboot again, I think. So you're stuck with me for a moment. Jessi Milestone, Mindless Entertainment. We did a fun chat.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's okay. You're back. That's great.
My camera settings are all fucked up too. I think this is how close I was. But I don't know why my computer keeps doing that. I apologize, everyone. But from that topic, I'm going to talk about something that I find morally, personally, and just completely offended by is the fact that Batman is refusing to work out.
Oh my God! I was almost gonna bring that up too. I was like, "Ooh,
you're gonna be Batman, and you're not gonna work out. Get the fuck out of here, Twilight boy." That is my thing. I'm just like, okay, you go from being in Twilight. You want to make a big difference about how you are different than Twilight, and you're like, oh, your complete career, like you have to go do indie movies. You have to do every single movie to prove to the fact that you are not Twilight, that does not define you and who you are as an actor, and then you refuse to work out for the movie.
And it's beyond just refusing to work out for the movie. He's just refusing to work out, period. Full stop. His trainer was like, yeah, I gave him a Bosu ball and some weights or something, and he's like, I have used neither of those things. He's proud of it. He's like, I'm not working out at all. It's like fucking literally not at all. Like, why don't you work out? Why isn't exercise a regular part of your life anyway? You're a human fucking being.
I can't attend to that. I don't exercise, but
that's fine. You don't have to. I'm just saying. But my point is like,
I'm not playing Batman.
You're not playing Batman, and also like you don't go around bragging about how you don't exercise. It's not like a thing. Like, hey, I don't exercise. Exercising is for losers. Like, he's the way he talks about it, it's like he's disparaging the idea of exercise. Period. Well, he's also. Again, just demonstrating the inequalities. You had Zoe Kravitz who's like, yeah, I'm busting my ass 5 days a week so she can look hot playing Catwoman. Mm-hmm. And he's sitting here like, oh, fuck you. I'm a man. I don't need to do anything. I mean, this lazy piece of shit. I can do less for my art than a woman has to do for hers because I'm better pencil.
No, you know what drives me crazy though is that it's like he's one of those guys that he has to do like I don't think he's a method actor, but he cares a lot about his craft, and he's one of those guys that he refuses to watch his own movies. Like he won't watch a movie he's been in because it makes him uncomfortable on screen. Like he's never seen the Twilight movies. He's never seen them. He lived them. I don't blame him. I'm like, dude, if you don't want to watch these movies, I do not blame you. But one of the things about Batman is that he's been studying martial arts since very early in his life. That's why he's able to beat the bad guys. I mean, not only does he have super intelligence, he's very wealthy, but Batman left Gotham as Bruce and went and studied martial arts. That's why he is almost undefeatable. It's like that's part of his character. If you don't want to work out and like lift weights and stuff, I understand, but at least go train and learn some of those martial arts because that's one of the defining features of Batman. He's basically a ninja in a bat costume.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I was talking about with Jeff earlier when we were discussing this.
I like this. You have one ducking job.
You do fucking do though.
You
like
have one job.
I mean, it's the laziness too of like. Especially when we're in an era where in action movies, it's so common now for people love doing their own stunts. You hear, Chris Hemsworth talking about how fun it was to do his own stunts in the Avengers stuff. Henry Cavill talking about what a joy it was to finally get to do his own stunts because whatchamacallit, when he was working in why can't I words today? Mission Impossible on Fallout and working with Tom Cruise, giving that permission. Tom Cruise is famous for doing his own stunts. Jon Favreau talked about coming onto the set of The Mandalorian when he was off working on, his other projects to find people doing stunts. He's like, no, don't do it. Like Gina Carano, doing the stunts and the blanking on the Mandalorian actor's name because I'm retarded.
Pablo. Gina Carano, Pablo, what's his last name?
Fucking name. I just keep thinking Oscar Isaac, but I know that's Poe Dameron. Doesn't matter. Anyway, but these guys out there doing their own stunts and all that. And
with his personal trainer pleaded with him to use a Boccia ball during
Boccia ball. It's like the exercise ball, big bouncy exercise ball.
Oh yeah, I have one of those. I used to sit on it when I played KOTOR in my living room, and then I was so lazy that Pedro Pascal. There you go.
Pedro Pascal, that's it. Pedro Pascal. Yeah, Pedro Pascal. Yeah, Pedro Pascal and Gina Carano were doing as many stunts as they were allowed. And you have somebody like, I'm sorry, if you're not in shape, if you're not going to work out, you're not even able to do the basic fight scene stunts. Like even fucking Daisy Ridley, who is not physical very much at all, who is not having this precedence for this, did as much as she could in the films. Now it shows because she's not that, great at it, and they didn't really, I don't fault her for that though. I because they do show her training for she put in the time, she put in the work, she put in the hours to train for it. It's just not her strong suit. I don't think they choreographed the scenes well to showcase what she can and can't do. But Adam Driver did a lot of his own stunts as well. I think all of them he said.
Look at Rosa Salazar, who did Alita. There's those videos that went around of her training. And again, what is Alita doing? Oh, she's kind of like ninja-esque. She's doing martial arts. You see Rosa Salazar train. That chick is in fucking tense. And I'm like, whoa. Like, could she do that before the movie? I don't know, but after that, watching that video, I'm like, I want this chick on my zombie apocalypse team. But like, look at what he says. I think if you're working out all of the time, you're part of the problem. So Henry Cavill is part of the problem. Right. So Jason Momoa is part of the problem. So all of the Marvel guys are part of the problem. Now I'm going to say something really mean. Now I kind of understand why your ex cheated on you with a married man and then became a lesbian.
Well, look, I mean, it's a version to working out, and I don't know if you read the statement where he talks about, like, yeah, I think I took my shirt off once on the Twilight set, and they're like, no, put it back on, put it back on. I'm like,
oh, yeah, well, let's see.
That's probably the reason why Kristen Stewart liked you in the first place, because your body reminded her of a woman.
Yeah, I remember this scene. He comes out and he's gonna sparkle in front of everyone so he can die.
Oh my god.
Let me go out and show you guys my sparkle.
I forgot about that, but holy shit, what a way to explain that, which is literally
that was the whole thing. I'm gonna come out and sparkle for you guys.
So, and it was literally because he was trying to get killed. Let me sparkle for you so I can die. That Jeff does his one sentence movies. That is the one sentence for that movie. Let me sparkle for you so I can die.
To make him sparkle.
Oh my god.
Well, if anything, maybe he's still insecure about when Taylor Lautner showed him up.
Yeah, right.
Taylor Lautner went from like this skinny dude to like being yoked. And I remember that was actually like kind of when they first, at least for me, this is the first like body transformation I remember seeing, because I remember I was like, oh, the dude from Shark Boy and Lava Girl is going to be in Twilight. And then that, like, you can look at him before and after he got yoked. And
oh yeah,
like, look at the difference between these two dudes.
And that's the thing is like, does Taylor Lautner look unhealthy? Oh my god. He's a scrawny little piece of shit. Does Taylor Lautner look unhealthy? Does he look like he's, using them roids or overly bulky? No, he's got a very nice body.
No, if anything, I think he gained a lot of weight after this because he went back to being unhealthy. He was dieting. He was eating well. He was working out every day. Again, being healthy. That's kind of why superheroes look the way that they do, because they are supposed to be the best version of like humanity. And I'm sorry, but the best version of humanity is not overweight, diabetic, gonna die. It's the the idealized human.
Sure, exactly. A proper proportionate weight, the weight that allows, because let's realize it's not about looking a certain way or this a certain way. There is a certain healthy body weight that everyone has. That lets your internal organs operate at max capacity. If you are too fat, it strains your heart and everything else in your body. If you are too thin, it has a similar detrimental effect on your organs. There is an optimal weight. It is a regular sized person within a definitely a median. There's a high end and a low end. You can be a little on the chunky side and still be healthy. You can be on the slender side and still be healthy. But there is, and it's also body dependent, But yes, gigantic, and this whole like, don't fat shame anyone. Being big is be big and proud. Like, there's a level of big where you're gonna die young because your heart just can't support that anymore. There's a level of thin that is equally unhealthy because you are not getting enough calories to live. So yeah.
I mean, it's okay. Here's the thing, because I saw Will had said that he doesn't have a bad body. He's slim, and I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, I mean, what Christian Bale is slim. But I mean, this is, he looks like a strong man here. Like, I look at him and I'm like, as you guys know, he's got hair on his arms because men have hair on their bodies. But look at him. Look at it. He looks strong to me. Like, if I needed a jar opened, I would ask him.
Oh, God, yeah. And you look at, again, very, like you said, very slender. But you look at the definition in the arms, you look at the definition in the chest, and that's what it is. It's not about bulking up or being this ripped gym rat. It's about adding definition to your body so that you can more accurately play the character. It's also again about being in good shape. Tone, a great point. You can be toned without being ripped. You can also be in shape so that you can play a fucking action character. He's not really an action hero. He's playing an action hero.
Look, this is a strong man.
Yeah. And
like, he's a skinny guy. This is Batman Begins, but I mean, it's not like he has like a raging six pack. You know, he's built. This is one thing about men, and it's very different when men bulk up as compared to women. But this is more of a bulk type of strength. So it's like he doesn't want you to see every single like ab here. He's not trying to get, because that's when you don't drink water. And if you go and watch Hugh Jackman talk about what he had to do to Wolverine, he couldn't drink any liquids for 1 to 2 days before he did a shoot, because when he did come out, you could see every muscle in his body. So this is more of a beefy type of workout. But I mean, he's still a slender guy because that's the frame of his body. Yeah. But,
absolutely, exactly. I think he's a perfect example. You even have things like, look at I'll pull up Val Kilmer's Batman for a second. Someone say, if you're referring, we're not referring to George Clooney as Batman, but Val Kilmer, I think, did a perfectly good Bruce Wayne Batman. He's a slimmer guy too. Michael Keaton too. Michael Keaton is a very wiry dude. But I mean, look at Val Kilmer. He's like very regular guy looking. He's got the chest hair and everything. You know, his arms look tough and lean. They're not super crazy bulky. You know, his body.
He's not. One of the things though is sometimes muscles, you have to be doing something to be able to
show them off. Yeah, but even just looking right there, he looks just the size of his pecs, the chest, that. You look at Robert Pattinson. He's just
he has more body strength that men do. You know.
Yeah. Do some fucking bicep curls and bulk up your arms, because his arms are just scrawny little chicken arms. Like Val Kilmer even here looks masculine.
Oh, somebody said Adam West. Yeah, let's look at Adam West.
Sure. Robert Pattinson looks boyish, and that's the difference between Christian Bale's body, Val Kilmer's body.
Well, this is kind of what we get. I don't know. It's harder for but okay, here's the thing. I don't think that's it. Here's the thing though. He is in a skin tight suit. He doesn't have fake muscles on him.
You also have to consider though, and this is something Jeff and I talked about too earlier, male beauty standards have changed a lot over the years, and for a long time, for various periods, like the 90s, male beauty standards. Well, there's a fucking drag race happening outside, so that's nice. Okay. For a long time, the male beauty standards were more of a skinnier body. You know, back in the day when you got through the 90s and whatnot, that bulkier bodybuilding gym rat body became more of a thing and a standard. But there are, yes, these are men, unlike Twilight Boy. Right now, the standard for these men, I think, is bulky. It's fit. It's. And again, I don't know what fucking precedent exercising sets, you know? Like, I'm not going to set a precedent.
It's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I have to be healthy. Now, for me, I would be throwing temper tantrums if they were trying to make me eat vegetables for a movie. I'm like, that is hate speech. That is torture. And, but I would sign a contract saying that if I got to a certain weight, or if and that's another thing. It's like if they hired me to be a superhero, and I'm like, all right, you know, I don't like to work out, but I know me personally, I'm like, I'm gonna be on a movie. If like let's say hypothetically they, for whatever fucking reason, they lost their minds. Maybe I won some kind of voting thing like Rose Tico did, and I had to be in a movie where I had to be a superhero. And I'm like, I don't care if I'm going to be on that screen for 1 second. If there's a chance that I'm going to be in something that millions of people are going to see me, I don't want to look like a crazy person in a potato sack. I want to make sure I can look the best that I possibly can. And by doing that, what am I going to do? I don't normally work out, but you know, sure as hell, I'm going to start working out. I'm not going to eat healthily. I'm not, which might counteract what I'm doing. But one of the things I know about myself is I can get yoked very fast. All I have to do is start swimming again. And he wouldn't even have to lift weights if he just went and swam 10 laps every single day in an Olympic style pool, he is going to get toned. Swimming works out your entire body. I'll go watch Rocky 3. Listen to Apollo Creed. Listen to Apollo fucking Creed, Robert Pattinson. Go swimming. You don't have to work out. Go swimming.
Do fucking push-ups. Ryan Dyer. Marines do 40 push-ups a day, 6 days a week. No, I like that incentive training. That's kind of how I like that take on incentive training. But exactly, you can do push-ups. If you were doing push-ups, right, you're going to build up your arms. You're going to buff up your arms.
I have kind of. That's bigger than mine. I kind of got muscle.
Mine are getting minor. My forearms are the nicest. I like the most muscular looking thing, but even those are going now because I've been in quarantine too long.
I used to have this one really.
I used to have a lot more of that, but that's
it's like the horseshoe thing. You can my lighting on my camera is terrible. I do have abs. I'm not gonna show that.
I have two. They're covered right now by a layer of squish. But I do have them. They're there. They look really nice when the squish goes away. But
I will brag about this. It's not because I have muscle here. It's specifically because I have very little body fat on my stomach. So I have just the very defined 6-pack, but they're not muscles. They are muscles, but they're not because I worked out.
For decoration only. That's like my arms when I'm not, if I'm not doing anything actively. I've always had sort of bigger arms. So if I'm just sitting here in a t-shirt, it's hard to see in this view. But, sitting here in a t-shirt, they look like they fill the sleeves of the shirt and stuff. They're largely for decoration only, unless I'm actually doing something, in which case, it's a little bit of something. But I just think
somebody said I don't have muscle. What do you think? This is muscle. This is muscle. You can see it. It's hurting me to flex though. It's straining, right?
Oh God!
Well, but to be fair, it's because I hurt my arm the other day. But anyways, back to Batman is not going to work out. Lazy.
Someone clip that. It's hurting me to flex. Oh my God!
I hurt my arm though.
I'm just really glad that Robert Pattinson does not want to set a precedent of going above and beyond. Not even above and beyond. He doesn't want to set a precedent of doing the usual amount of work that actors would do for an important role. He doesn't want anyone to think that he can be asked to do that level of work for his art. That he's going to be compromise his standards to give the people what they want, to do his actual fucking job and entertain people. No, he cannot be held to those standards. He will sit on his ass in quarantine and eat potato chips and throw darts in his Bosu ball and look like a fucking scrawny ass vampire bitch Batman.
I'm gonna laugh if he's a chubby Batman. How he's well, Fat Thor was the thing. I'm that's because he was depressed. Could you imagine? But I mean, maybe the suit. That would be so funny if the suit is so heavy for him. It's a workout for him. But
right.
I hurt my arm. We've been remodeling my house, and I had to help Peaches lift something that was heavy. And it hurt.
One heavy thing.
I pulled muscle. It hurt. I'm a little person, and doing big things is hard.
She's a little person in a big people's world. She can't help it.
I'm little. Jessi is starting to rant again. Well, yeah, I'm fucking pissed. You got hired as Batman. You're getting paid millions, not hundreds of thousands. You're getting paid millions of dollars to be Batman, and you're not going to get off your fucking ass and lift weight or go swimming in a fucking pool?
Exactly. I mean, think of the hubris that it takes. Think of the selfishness and the fucking ego it takes to go, you're going to give me X millions of dollars to run around and be a superhero. And I can't be bothered to lift weights, so I look a little more like your idea of a superhero. Fucking fire him. I'm sorry. Bullshit.
I mean, if your idea of a superhero is that unless he's got the joke of it is kind of like One Punch Man, that's just his superpower, that he's so strong, he's stronger than everyone, that he can take everyone out with one punch. And I mean that's an anime, so that's a very different type of I want to, what's the word, cultural aspect. But I mean, he doesn't look like a typical superhero, but that's the whole part of his character. That's a very different thing. If you want to do One Punch Man, do One Punch Man. This is Batman. You are getting paid to be Batman. If you are going to be Batman, be fucking Batman.
Exactly. Don't be Trailblazer, who's a big lazy sack of shit with her snack pack. So,
did you see my different version of Trailblazer?
I think I did. I saw the ones you posted where you like redid. Yeah, I liked those.
Let me show you guys if you missed it, because I'm proud of it. I was explaining to people how you can do this if you want to do. Let me pull this up here. Let's share screen in a minute. If you want to make a plus size character, there needs to be a story behind it. This is one thing Sav was bringing up. She's like, what is she going to turn around in the middle of a fight to pull something off of her backpack? What's to stop somebody from pulling the backpack off of her? It doesn't make any sense, you know?
It's a good point.
Here we go.
It's just she is just the backpack. There's nothing special about her.
So I fixed it.
Mm-hmm.
I said if you're going isn't she going to get hot running around in a hoodie?
I would think so. That seems like a really dumb superhero suit choice. Which is I keep forgetting that's part of her fucking out. This is her superhero outfit is a fucking hoodie.
I know.
Like how stereotypical fat chick can you?
So this person didn't know how to draw heads because they made their lips go out farther than their nose, and I'm like,
it looks weird.
Could you imagine if my lips were out this far? But so I fixed her head, I fixed her outfit, and yes, guess what? Oh my God, women have boobs. Holy shit, women have boobs.
Shocking that a heavy chick who's curvaceous all over would have tits.
Yeah. So I gave her thicker thighs, and I also fixed the way she was standing. I gave her a bodysuit, and then you can do this. This is a thing that women do all the time. You wear clothes that give the illusion of either making things look bigger or smaller. I did this, so this is all part of a bodysuit. Somebody's like, well, it's under the boobs. I'm like, that's because it's the cut of it. Sometimes you have like corsets that stop right under your boobs to make them look bigger. So it gives her the illusion that she's slimmer because you see where the black stops and it looks like she's got a smaller waist. This is the exact thing that they did in the Lego movie to make Wild Child, I think that's the girl's name, to make her look like she has a waist, even though she's a block like a Lego. Mm-hmm. You know, it's called optical illusion. Is that? Yeah, there you go. So yeah, you can make these plus size characters look badass. But anyways. Exactly.
Absolutely. I think it's a great reinterpretation. And where she doesn't have to be a goddamn joke or stereotype of a fat chick too. Because that's.
And I'm even saying like girls that are plus size, they don't dress like that.
No.
They accentuate their thickness.
Girls that are that plus size, they know how to dress themselves in very specific ways to make themselves look as becoming as possible. They don't wear,
thank you.
Marvel version of a potato sack.
Thank you, Rachel Brinkley. I appreciate that. Wild Style. Okay, so Wild Style, that's what her name was. But yeah, let's see. Dora over Batman. Yeah, that was my thing. Because like she was also supposed to be Native American and like the backpack. And so I was like, so I gave her a Native American looking satchel. So she can look all, new, but then her satchel is like older,
That's smart. I like that. That's a really cool design and a great point too.
Well, thank you. Now I'm going to pull up the next topic because I think we've talked about Batman. We are going to talk about Mandalorian. So Mandalorian has announced some casting. They announced Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka, which a lot of people were like, she's too old. And I'm like, no, during this time period, Ahsoka should be in her like 40s. So Rosario Dawson is 40. So the fact that they got a woman that's actually the right age to play it instead of somebody that's younger, that says a lot. She looks like Ahsoka. She does. She's going to be great. Then they also announced that how do you say his name?
Tamora Morrison.
Tamora Morrison is going to come back because Boba Fett was the clone that he asked the Kaminoans for that he wanted. He got payment, but then he asked for an unaltered clone for himself, which he raised as his son, Boba Fett. So it makes sense that he would come back to play Boba Fett because Boba Fett was a clone of him. That's a great idea. And it's awesome that he's willing to come back and reprise the role. And I've heard rumors about this, but he's also going to be playing Rex as well, because as we know, Rex would be with Ahsoka at this time. And so there you go. He gets to play 2 characters. Yay for him. Congratulations to him. I'm glad that he's going to get, some more exposure. That's great. And then also they just announced this, but Katie Sackhoff, is that how you say it?
Sackhoff, yep.
Is going to come back and play Bo-Katan. And Bo-Katan, for those of you that do not know, Satine, who was the former ruler of Mandalore, the one that Obi-Wan Kenobi had like a love affair with, and he almost left the Jedi Council for her. She, spoiler alert, dies in the Clone Wars. This is her sister, who is next in line to be the ruler of Mandalore, and that's where they set that up in Rebels. So she just came on to play Bo-Katan, which perfect, because it's the Mandalorian. Guess who's going to be the ruler of Mandalore? Oh, Bo-Katan, who is a woman who Kathleen Kennedy had no involvement with making.
That's delight. That is a delight. So so Katie Sackhoff, I knew her from Battlestar Galactica. I used to get compared to her a lot in that role a lot. She played Starbucks. She was a sort of hard hitting pilot chick, whatever. She was cool. But she was a lot of people's choices when we were talking about when Brie Larson got cast as Captain Marvel. A lot of people said Katie Sackhoff would be a better choice. She was the fan favorite choice, I think, for Captain Marvel. Rosario Dawson, it was funny because when I talked about Ahsoka Tano, when they were talking about when Brie Larson was the rumor that she was going to play her, Rosario Dawson was the name that came up because I made the case. I was like, look, y'all are so obsessed with diversity. You got an orange-skinned person. Here's a perfect place to cast a black woman. You want to put fucking Brie Larson here. And people, the big consensus was Rosario Dawson would be a great choice, but she would be too old. And now here you are setting her up in this world where it is timeline-wise appropriate for that age. I think it is a great choice. Now, my concerns is that there are great justifications is it logical, that Boba Fett could play a part in this story? Okay, sure. He's got Mandalorian armor, but he's not really a proper Mandalorian, so that could be an interesting thing. But now in the same season, you're bringing in this not really Mandalorian guy, not really Mandalorian in Mandalorian armor. You're bringing in the ruler of Mandalore, and you're also, it's rumored that the big plot point is going to be trying to find this homeworld for Baby Yoda, and now we're going to have Ahsoka come in and maybe also Rex. And Jeff and I had a whole discussion. I don't know how you feel about that, about Jedi and the Force becoming a part of Star Wars stories that don't really have to do with that. And I don't like that as much. I like when the Jedi stuff is the Jedi stuff and the Force kind of stays there, and we don't have to bring the Force and bring the Jedi into everything. As much as I love the Jedi and all that stuff, I don't need it everywhere, and I don't really like it in this context. I think it also detracts from Baby Yoda being like this Force-using little child. So I'm not in a vacuum individually. All these shows. I don't know if you also saw Michael Biehn, who was in Aliens as one of the Marines, as well as Terminator, the first Terminator. He's going to be in it as well. That one, that's fine. I have nothing bad to say about that because we don't know who he's going to be or what he's going to play. He's never been in Star Wars before. He's just a solid actor who looks right for the kind of world, that a mercenary style world. Now, in a vacuum, Rosario Dawson playing Ahsoka, great, cool, down with it. Tamara Morrison reprising Boba Fett, the Fett character, great. Katie Sackhoff coming in and playing this badass Mandalorian character, great. Shoving every single one of these things into the Mandalorian season 2, now I'm concerned. Now I'm concerned about them falling into, and a big thing for me is I'm concerned about how much more the rest of Lucasfilm might have been involved in the Mandalorian season 2 after the success of season 1. And now that Rise of Skywalker's wrapped, I don't know what the shooting schedule was like for season 2 in relation to the release schedule for Rise of Skywalker and what everyone like Kathleen Kennedy was doing during that time. But I am concerned that there was too much studio involvement in this season. I'm concerned that Filoni's desire to bring in all of his characters and be like, hey, John, throw this guy in, throw that guy in, might have muddied the waters a little bit and might take the show away from a cleaner, nicer, hey, here's just a story in the Star Wars universe. It's not all about all that other stuff, and wrap it back around so everything has to be related. So now the Mandalorian is part of the Clone Wars universe and related to something that happened in the Clone Wars and Rebels and this and that and the other. That's where I'm getting really trepidatious about this season.
I mean, I can understand all that. I honestly think that these things happen years prior So I'd have to see the filming schedule, but I think all of this, because it's Dave Filoni, he wants to bring these characters that he, either created or helped create into this in a live action show, because then in a way that makes it canon, even though his stuff technically already is canon, but it will get that recognition. And I think that was one of his goals. It's like, when you create these characters, you want to see them everywhere.
Yeah.
Now I'm actually fine with seeing Jedi sparse throughout the universe, especially since the Jedi Order had gotten destroyed by Order 66 in the time period that, because this is supposed to be I'm blanking on when this is supposed to be setting. Oh my god, it's
5 years after the end of Return. When the Mandalorian happens.
Yeah,
5 years after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, it's after Return of the Jedi. So obviously it's just Luke now and Leia. And so just because the Jedi Order is gone doesn't mean that there's not Force sensitive people out there. And so how they
here's an interesting thought on that, though. They arguably, somewhere in their lore between here and the sequels taking place, have to kill Ahsoka. Because otherwise they've just negated. You haven't seen Rebels, so let me explain what happens at the end of Rebels. Ahsoka, and so this is going to sound really weird. There's space whales, which are creatures that can fly through outer space, which they ripped off from Star Trek: The Next Generation. And so Ezra, who is the main character in Rebels, is fighting Thrawn, and the way to defeat Thrawn is he calls the space whales. So the space whales show up, and the thing about them is kind of how the spice works in Dune. Is how you have the spice and you can fold space to transport from one side of space to the other. That's my way of trying to explain to somebody that hasn't watched the show kind of how these space whales work. So they get swallowed by a space whale and then snap, or like it's a big light and explosion, and they transport to another side of space. So the ending of Rebels is Ahsoka and another character called Sabine, who is a Mandalorian, going off to try to find Ezra and Thrawn. And so it would make sense, and if Ahsoka isn't dead during the time period of the Disney fan fiction sequel trilogy, because they're off on the other side of the galaxy trying to find Thrawn and Ezra. But that's not going to be the case now, though, because what's the time period for Rebels? When does Rebels take place?
Well, so what people are saying in the time period, Rebels Rebels was before the sequel trilogy happened.
Okay. But would it be after the events of The Mandalorian?
So it would be before. So the events of The Mandalorian. Oh, actually, sorry. Rebels takes place when Luke is still A New Hope. Luke hasn't left.
Okay.
Obi-Wan is still on the planet. Sorry,
that's what I thought. That's what I thought. I thought all that stuff, Rebels and Clones, all takes place prior to.
So one of the characters has a child with another character, and so at the ending it shows the child that, and I thought he was like 5 or 6 in my memory, but then I looked and I was like, okay, no, the kid, maybe he's a little short for his age, but he looks to be maybe like 9 or 10 years old. But so then they have to go off, so it would make sense on if they're in whatever part of the galaxy they're in, if they run into the Mandalorian on their way to the unknown regions of space. Fair.
Now, here's the thing, though. The couple things, right? Ahsoka is a Jedi, right? I know she's not like she was Jedi. What?
She never finished her training, so she's like a Jedi, but she's not a Jedi.
She's had Jedi training, right?
Yes.
And a lightsaber and all that stuff.
She has 2 lightsabers.
She has to be dead theoretically by the sequels, though. As someone put out in the chat, though, you hear her voice in that little forced stupid ass montage at the end, and so if that's the case, she has to be dead. Plus, like, if she's running around the galaxy when the sequel trilogies are happening, it kind of negates the whole Last Jedi thing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I want them to forget that. I want them to not kill her off. I want them to somehow wrap whatever they're doing with Rosario Dawson's Ahsoka and never think to kill her off, so that little loophole exists to make The Last Jedi even more pointless. So that's
Somebody said, Andy, who the article Star Wars canon doesn't matter anymore. Are you allowed to ignore the sequels? Yeah, I do want to cover that eventually. So what I think would be fun is because we've never one of the things that I'm actually excited to see Ahsoka in a live action. I'm excited for people that keep using the argument, well, the animated shows don't count. I'm finally excited to say, well, fuck you now, because if the Mandalorian counts, though, then guess what? So does Ahsoka, and guess where Ahsoka came from? Oh yeah, the Clone Wars. So stop complaining about that. But if Ahsoka's there, she's going to say Thrawn. He is going to get mentioned, and I love Thrawn. So I hear an echo. To get Thrawn as to get to hear his name again, that's gonna make it. It's gonna make it more real in a way to me. So I'm happy with the fact that Ahsoka is gonna be there. I'm excited to see her. I do like Ahsoka. For whatever reason, people have it in their heads that Ahsoka is my favorite character. I like Ahsoka. She's not my favorite.
Darth Vader's your favorite character.
Darth Vader is my favorite character, but a lot of people are like, Ahsoka's Anna's favorite character, and I'm like,
Ahsoka is Jeremy's favorite character.
Yes, Ahsoka's Jeremy's favorite character. Darth Vader is mine. But the thing about, I think it's because I made Ahsoka like my little profile thing, and I'm like, that's because I'm short, and people said I sounded like her, but she's not my favorite character. Just FYI to everyone, I like her. She's not my favorite.
That's one of these too, though. When you bring in Thrawn, that's come up too, is Thrawn getting mentioned and Thrawn getting brought into this and stuff. I am all down for them exploring Thrawn. I'm all down for them exploring those things. I'm just not convinced that the Mandalorian is the correct vessel to do this. I think you can build a great show bringing in Tamara Morrison as Boba Fett, bringing in Katie Sackhoff as the leader of Mandalore, bringing back Ahsoka. I think Ahsoka absolutely has a place. I think it'd be a shame if they don't. I think Rosario Dawson's a great choice, and bringing her into this post-Return of the Jedi world is a great plan and all that. I just wish they would think about doing this as its own thing, and rather, because the Mandalorian was.
I think that's what I saw was that I'm gonna just leave it on here because I'm getting sick and tired of all the ads, guys. I'm sorry. Whatchamacallit? No, I saw something saying that Ahsoka and Sabine are only going to be in 2 episodes, and that's going to be a setup for their own spin-off show.
Yeah, that makes me happier. I can fuck with that. All right, you're building this universe. That's all the shows do it. The Arrowverse did that, and the Marvel TV show, the Defender series did that with we're going to pop in, cameo in your series to kind of tease our own series. That I can live with that. If that's the case, and if they're these more minor roles and they're really just there to tease something that brings that whole cast together and does their own shit. You think that's the show that Leslie Headland got hired to write? I'll bet you it is. I will bet you that that's the plan. It's a show about whammon. So we'll get this whammon who loves whammon to write a whammon show about whammon for whammon.
Oh my God.
Did I just ruin everything? Did I just ruin everything?
God.
Didn't I? I'm so sorry. I just ruined everything.
You're fucking right. You're fucking right, Jessi. Yep. Oh, female-centric Star Wars show? How much more female-centric can you get than Ahsoka and Sabine on a mission to go find Ezra and Thrawn?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You ruined my life!
I'm so sorry. Also, I'm totally making that video with that theory as soon as we're done here. Because that is my new official theory, and that's what's up. Yep.
I just want to go curl up in a ball and die.
I'm so sorry. I did not mean to ruin your day. You were so excited. You're like, yes! And then Leslie Headland happened.
Did you see?
Oh, God, this explains so much. Okay, sorry. I don't want to say this now because now I have to make it. Now I need to make it. Guys, if you want to hear all of my theories and how everything connects, now literally all of the chips just fell into place. All the pieces, every single piece just started to make so much sense in my head right now. And I can't wait to share it with all of you very, very soon. So I'm not going to do it here now because I'm just going to make Anna more sad. But check out Mindless Entertainment. See a video drop regarding my new theory about things and stuff. So I'm so sad I ruined Anna. Read some super chats. That'll make you happy.
No.
Or don't. God, no one can tell you.
I'm mad. No, because God damn it. Okay, well, Jessi, did you see my video on Leslie where I found she used to be a normal fucking person?
Yeah, I heard that shit.
No, she literally is just like she straight up says without using the word Mary Sue, she's like, I hate it when women are perfect. And the only problem that they have is like, oh, I haven't found the right penis yet. You know?
Yeah.
And
she also was Harvey Weinstein's personal assistant for 1 year. I don't think you can be this SJW nightmare if you were,
I found like her saying like, what's your grade? Like, what is the thing that defines you? And she said being Harvey Weinstein's personal assistant. But it's like she went woke after the Me Too because I said this. I'm like, I think she was a normal person, and then because she was parading, oh, I was Harvey Weinstein's personal assistant, like that was the top thing on her resume. And then what happened to him? So she went woke, so she didn't get canceled.
Of course. No, I had no idea. Of course you fucking.
If she is the one female-centric Star Wars, and then they're hinting that Ahsoka and Sabine are going to have their own spin-off show after getting introduced on The Mandalorian. How much more female-centric do you get?
Yep. So the world is ending.
I just want to drink now. I hate life.
I'm so sorry. I don't want to drive you to drink. I don't want to do that to you.
That was mean.
I didn't mean to. It just came. It just dawned on me. It was a light bulb.
I just gave the right information, then it clicked in your head. I was like, well, they're gonna have a spin-off show, and then you're like,
oh my god, oh man, yep. There's more bits. Again, there's another big piece of this puzzle that makes sense in the context of this jigsaw, but I'm not gonna drive it home now. I don't want to make you more sad, so I'll just make a video. It'll be fine. It'll be great.
You're mean.
So I didn't mean to. I'm so sorry. I want to like send you cookies now or something.
Good. I like oatmeal raisin. And I pick out the raisins and throw the rest away.
So you like oatmeal cookies?
No. I eat the raisins and I throw the rest away.
Wait, so you just hold on. Why don't you just buy raisins?
Because they taste better when they've been baked in something. That's why I
bake raisins.
It tastes good when you have oatmeal cookies and then you oatmeal raisin cookies and then you pick out the raisins and you eat them because they're so good and they're like squishy and they have that taste of like the dough, and then you throw it away because it's oatmeal.
Just eat raisin bread.
I do, but oatmeal cookies, when raisins have been cooked in oatmeal cookie dough mix, they have a different taste, and I like that taste.
Do you make Peaches eat the cookies without the raisins in them afterwards?
Oh, he'll eat it. If not, Tulip might, but I don't let Tulip get it because she's not supposed to have sugar. But there's always some. My dad would eat the rest for me. My dad would.
What a good
yeah, I mean, I put raisins in my brownies, and people think that's weird. And like, they taste so good.
That is weird.
I'll bring some over. You'll see how good it is.
I was gonna say, I'm glad that.
Oh my god! Thank you. Well, this is actually a compliment. Oh my great God, Anna, you are the strangest person I've ever met in my whole life. You know. Thank you.
Anna is unique. There's nobody in this world. There's nobody on this earth that's like Anna. It's true. It's really true.
I was in college and I was doing that because I had a bowl and I had like a plate for oatmeal raisin cookies. And I was picking out all the raisins, putting the rest in the bowl, and somebody stopped and they're like, "Are you just picking out the raisins and throwing out the rest?" I'm like, "Yes." Like, that's such a waste of a cookie. And I'm like, nobody eats oatmeal raisin cookies anyway.
I eat oatmeal raisin cookies.
Okay, well, nobody in my college did.
Okay, well, whatever.
They were the last ones left, and I never had a problem getting them. But yeah, I'm also the person that gets Raisin Bran and picks out all the raisins. My mom had to like.
Oh, that's different. I mean, the rest of Raisin Bran is dog shit. The raisins and Raisin Bran also had sugar on them, so I used to do that too. My dad would eat Raisin Bran, and we'd be like, "We want the raisins." And they'd be like, "Yeah."
I love raisins.
You are singular with that perspective. I just straight up, I don't think I've met a single human being that's ever said, "I love raisins."
I love
raisins. Enjoy raisins. Like them in certain dishes in certain places. Sure, fine. Type. Excuse me. But I don't ever think I've ever heard.
Not healthy. Who has raisins in arm's reach?
Not me. There are some in my cabinet, but it's because my friend bought them for me as a practical joke. Because our running practical joke with each other is how stupid raisins are.
Raisins are good.
Oh God. Yep. I want to call Isaac right now and tell him about it.
I love raisins. There's nothing wrong with that. Let me read some super chats because, yeah.
Because that's the thing you do.
Because I'm depressed now, and Jessi told me to do this.
Trying to make you feel better.
Jessi ruined my fucking life.
Right here.
Okay,
for life ruiner.
You did ruin my life.
I'm like Regina George. I'm a life ruiner.
Mackenzie Peters, thank you for the super chat. Ray should have stayed on Jakku where she belongs. I think I read that one, but yes, she should have. Adam Wooford, thank you for the super chat. Anna Chipmunk, super voice is funny, cute, awesome. Well, thank you. Actually,
crazy.
The whole thing about Hoseby Crazy voice was that I was trying to film a video to respond to someone, but my video was too long, so I just sped up the speed, and so my voice is fast, but apparently I sound like the chipmunks, which is fine because there's 3 chipmunks, and there was me and my 2 sisters, so there was 3 of us, and my name is Anna, and it starts with a big A, and my mom would always used to say that I was Alvin, and that's very true. Very true. And then my sisters were Simon and Theodore, and I am Alvin. That is my that's me. That's very much my personality.
I know which sister is Theodore because she's a loser. I mean, what? Who said that? Nobody.
Who? Wait, what?
He's like, I was being mean about your sister.
Oh, gotcha.
The one's alive, obviously. Chad, no, I'm obviously not denigrating. As
well, my sister was very rude to Jessi, so Jessi kind of gets the go ahead on that because Jessi has met my sister in person and she insulted her at my other sister's funeral, which to insult a guest is mind blowing. But anyway,
sorry, I don't mean to say I shouldn't talk bad about your family anyway on air. It's not my place either way. So I apologize.
It's okay. It's okay. Let's see. Adam Wooford, thank you for another super chat. The original model for I think you're meaning Starfire. Starfire back in the 70s, I think was one of the girls from Charlie's Angels. Oh, Farrah Fawcett, you mean. I don't remember which one. Black Widow was modeled after Jacket Brown. I think you mean Jacket Brown or Jackie Brown?
Yeah, I would assume Jackie Brown.
No, I think I had heard that because even the hair that they used, it is very Farrah Fawcett-esque.
Yeah, that is. As soon as you said Farrah Fawcett, I was like, oh, okay. Because again, that original drawing has some elements that you could see in a black character. But again, Farrah Fawcett, that was her hair then too. So
somebody said I look plumper. I do not look plumper. This gray is not flattering, but I'm wearing high-waisted pants, so I know it showed my little squishy when you sit down. Trust me, I'm not. I've actually lost weight since coronavirus because all my food is gone. People are stealing my junk food. I'm not happy about it, which is just my normal food, but other people's junk food. I'm not fucking happy about it. Pisses me off. I know. R-Far, thank you for the super chat. Hashtag only Shatner is Kirk. Oh, yeah, I saw that. So they're thinking about doing like a spin-off Enterprise show, and they're talking about casting a new Captain Kirk, and I'm like, William Shatner is alive.
He's still alive. Fuck you guys. Put him in.
I'm like, who should play Captain Kirk? William Shatner. And it was one of those things that's like, who would play Iron Man if Iron Man was black? And then somebody's like Robert Downey Jr. and it shows him from December.
No, it can be done. We know it can be done. We've seen it before. That is so true. That's so true. Oh God, that's hysterical.
Let's see. Beth Diggett, thank you for the super chat. But Jessi, it's not their fault. Racist is their default setting. Laughing face.
So true. That's just we're talking about. We're talking about the idiots. I think that one actually might have even come in when you were in your reboot, and I was talking about how dumb it was that like they just people like wake up and look for racism. They just hunt for racism, fake racism everywhere, so they can be outraged because they literally have nothing better to do.
I think I read this one. John P. Jessi is a psycho in the best possible way. Gamer Girl 5317, thank you for the super chat. Racist is as racist as, and they always project.
That's very true too. If you're spending your day scouring the internet to yell at people who did a thing that you think is somehow racist, what shit are you hiding? What is wrong with you? There's something wrong with you. And that's what you're so hyper focused on.
Mm-hmm. And even like those crazy people, they really were showing their own races. They're creating a problem that didn't exist. They were trying to, and this is one of my things. They're like, this is what you were thinking. And I'm like, hello, thank you, stranger on the internet, for telling me how I am thinking. Someone who has never interacted with me before. I'm sure you have a great grasp on the way that I think.
It's just like how people who cheat are always suspicious of their partners of cheating. People who think unkind thoughts. On
that, to counter that, it's like people that have been cheating on can still be very suspicious.
True. But I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's the only type of person who's suspicious. I'm not saying it's the only type of person, but I'm saying reliably, everyone who is a cheater always assumes everyone else is too. And that's not only just cheating in relationships, though, but in general too. People who are scammers in life, people who are bullshit artists in life, assume everyone else is bullshitting them. People who are running around seeing racism everywhere. And saying, I know what you're thinking. Well, no, you don't. You're not in my head, but I'm getting a pretty good clue as to what you're thinking. So thanks.
Mm-hmm. And then John Cabanassis, thank you for the super chat. And it's just a little pear that's flying like a superhero. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Paper Ink, little diabolical vindictive. It won't let me read the rest of your name, so I'm just going to say Paper Nick. Thank you for the super chat. Just $5. Sadly, I keep missing streams since YouTube stopped sending me notifications. Well, thank you for that. I will make this a lot easier for everyone. So every week at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, this show is either going to be on my channel or Jessi's channel. So today is the 13th. So this will make it even easier. At least it should be. Odd numbers is my channel. Even numbers are on Jessi's channel.
Yep.
Let me check the calendar, make sure that's accurate.
Well,
yeah, actually that is very accurate. Odd number weeks, it'll be on my channel. Even number weeks, it's going to be on Jessi's channel. Let me check the months too, unless that changes. No.
Flipping the month. Next month, we're still kosher? No, next month we're going to get fucked up.
Yeah.
I'll be the 20th, you'll be the 27th, and then I'll be the 3rd of June. So we'll get fucked up on the months. But, yep. You'll see.
Right now it's the 13th. Next week it's going to be you. Oh, yeah, I see. Never mind.
Yeah, we got fucked up from May to June. But it doesn't matter because it's 2 o'clock Wednesday, and if we're not on one channel, we're going to be on the other. So
there you go.
Even when back in the day when it was Ethan, Jeremy, and Jeff rotating. I forgot my name. I know, Jeff. Rotating the High Council. There were weeks I didn't know whose channel it was on necessarily. I never
knew whose channel it was on.
Yeah,
I'll wait until it goes live, and I'll get one of their nonotifications. I'll just check their channel.
If I didn't get a notification, or it didn't immediately show up in my feed. It usually showed up in my feed anyway. And if it didn't, it was like, all right, well, I'm gonna look up 3 channels. I know that's really difficult and it takes a lot of work, but I'm assuming since a lot of us are home from coronavirus anyway, you have that extra time to search a second channel if you didn't get it right on the first one. But you have a 50-50 shot of getting it right on the first one. So,
I think we all do. We all do.
There's some conversations about reunions, so
that'll be fun.
Yeah, I can say no more. I'm privy to a lot of behind the scenes stuff, as you might imagine. I should be happy.
Let's see. Maddie Hammond, thank you for the super chat. I'm an alphabet person, 1 on the light side of the force, and then it's the laughing face with the little drop. Been in a room with SJWs, and they bring race into every topic. They're obsessed. They try to one up each other on who's the most oppressed. Yeah, no, I'm not. Maddie, I'm not even kidding. I used to live with an SJW. They are in fucking insane. And you know what's sad is they are the most miserable people. But the thing is, they are also gonna break this barrier. They are fucking privileged as fuck, and so they don't have problems, so they invent them. And like, oh well, this happened to me. This one of my old roommates. She's a huge SJW. She's just like, oh, I didn't even know about this, and my mom told me this happened, and now I feel traumatized from the entire.
And now I have PTSD because someone told me about something that happened. That straight up, a girl at my college claimed she had PTSD from the Holocaust because her grandmother went through the Holocaust. So she had PTSD. That's, yeah. So I can't remember the name of the person who sent that super chat, but my condolences to you for having to sit Maddie, I'm so sorry because I have sat in many rooms with many of them. I went to college where this shit was being invented, and it wasn't fun. It wasn't exciting. It wasn't nice. And everything you just said is 100% nail on the head. It is a bunch of privileged people with nothing better to do than make up reasons why they're oppressed and run around when they run out of reasons why they're oppressed, running around telling everyone else how they're oppressing everyone else.
Oh yeah, no, like she told me, I had to go pick her ass up because bitch didn't drive. I had to drive across San Francisco during rush hour traffic, doing a favor for her. Never did she ever offer me gas money? Absolutely not. Did she ever say thank you? Rarely. It was just
fight the patriarchy.
It was just assumed that I would go pick her up. And so, and like she would ask me, but then sometimes she'd just be like, and it would be if I wasn't working or if I wasn't in class, and she asked me and I said no, it was like, oh, well, why not? You know, it's like, maybe I'm tired. Maybe I got other shit to do. Maybe I just want to stay home and take a shower. I don't fucking know. But rush hour traffic, drive across town to pick this girl up. Driving back, I get stopped at a light, and again, rush hour traffic. San Francisco, it's like bumper to bumper whole way home. And I'm driving through streets. San Francisco, what's one of the things about San Francisco? Oh, you're on hills. And so I'm on a hill. I'm like this. Two guys walk across the street, and both of them have dreadlocks. And I just made a comment because we were silent. We weren't talking. And I was like, oh, I've always found dreadlocks beautiful. When I was little, my mom cut my hair off, and I had a bowl cut. And at one point I had a mullet, but I'm like, I always wanted long hair. And one of my friends, when I was in kindergarten, she was black. And I told her, I was like, I wish my hair was as long as yours. And she told me, well, my hair is actually shorter than yours. And I was like, what do you mean? Your hair's all the way down to your butt. And that's when my whole world, like the glass broke. She was just like, no, Anna, this hair isn't real. She's like, you go and you get your braids done. And she explained to me how when you're black, you go and you get the braids done. And they either, if you do a weave, they sew that into your braids. Or if you have, you know, they when they braid your hair, they add fake hair to it to make it as long as you want. And she explained that to me. And I was like, wow, that's cool. Like, I wish they could do it to me. And she even explained how she's like, she's like, white girls can't do that. And she explained to me how her hair was different than mine. This was a concept that was explained to me when I was 5 years old.
Yeah.
And when I'm sitting now next to my roommate who was supposed to be my best friend. And I said, you know, I always thought dreadlocks were beautiful and I wanted them when I was a kid. And she's just like, that's cultural appropriation. That's racist. And I'm like, because I said something was beautiful and I wished I could have it, obviously I'm not going to get dreadlocks. You know, as an adult, I have the ability to go out and do it. I'm not going to do it because I found something beautiful. And I think dreadlocks are pretty when you do them right.
Sure.
You know?
Not like the way these dirty ass white chicks do them where they make these rat nests on their head. Oh,
no. Okay, I'll show you a picture because okay, well, also, and then I was thinking about it because it that will always bother me, the fact that I said something was beautiful and I got called a racist for it. Like, isn't that one of the things that you're supposed to want to come off, or like, let me see. Because there are some white girls that pull off dreadlocks, but let me show you. Because the ones that I like is when it's kind of shorter and they're thick, and because my friend had this. She had she had long braids for a while. Then when she did dreadlocks, that was the first time I saw them. But she had like little gold cuffs in them.
Oh, nice!
And I thought they were so pretty.
Yeah.
I'm trying. Oh, okay. Here we go. Look, these are dreadlocks. Those are dreadlocks. Those are so pretty.
They're cool as shit. No, I think that's great.
So she had it kind of like when they were this thick, and she had it to her shoulders, and then she had these little gold things in them, and she looked like an African princess. And I told her that, but I'm like, what's wrong with finding something beautiful and then getting called racist because I said I found that, or because I'm racist because I found that beautiful? How is that racist?
Because you're exoticizing it, which is like, no, I just said I thought it was beautiful. Just like it. It's just a compliment. It's just that I'm not exoticizing anything. It's so.
Oh,
it's
here
so
we go.
beyond. But that's one of the. What was there something you said about this friend and the driving that reminded me of something, and I can't remember.
Let me. Oh, why did it do that? I don't know. Oh, so like even like look at so it was like why is it doing? Oh, sorry, it's doing. I don't know why my computer's tripping out. There we go. Okay, so see how it's shorter, but this is kind of what she had. She had these little gold. Hers were like longer to where it wasn't, but this girl has. Oh goddamn! What did I do? I see. You could see a lot of not as nice ones, but like look at this girl's. Like look at how pretty that looks.
That's beautiful.
You know, hers. This is really pretty.
That is really nice. It's like texture. It's just very texturally appealing. You know, just visually.
Mm-hmm. And I don't see how. I don't know why it keeps doing that. When okay, here we go. That's why I keep clicking out and then it like is deleting my screen share, but I need to just click that and go back to that. I don't see how me saying that that's beautiful makes me racist.
It doesn't. It's just dumb. That doesn't makes no sense. No sense whatsoever. But that stuff's and all that like where that expecting you to do stuff for her and this like talking about racist. These people like that. Who is she to sit here and police you on your especially because you shared a story about your actual interaction with your actual black friend with dreadlocks, and she wasn't bothered by it. She didn't think it was racist. She didn't call you a racist for it. How fucking racist is it? You got a bunch of these privileged ass white women running around assuming the oppression status of every person of color, every alphabet person, every minority person under the goddamn sun. I'm carrying the weight of their oppression on my shoulders. No, you're just a selfish, privileged, spoiled little brat who has no direction in life. And it's an excuse. It's like you sit there, wake up one day, realize you haven't done anything. You're not worth anything. You're going to believe this worthless piece of shit who's contributing nothing to society. Why is that the case? Oh, I don't have the excuse of being oppressed. So let me make up reasons why I'm oppressed. And let me carry the weight of oppression for everyone else so I can have a good excuse for why I have done absolutely nothing with my life in spite of being given everything.
Yep. Oh no, Jessi, this is a friend that when I met her parents, I'm like, you have absolutely no reason to go cry victim. You have the nicest parents in the world. You went to a private school. When I went to her house and I'm like, these people are fucking rich, you know? I mean, I was like, they had one of those like waterfall shower things. I'm like,
I want one.
I was like, you have like, you didn't, I was like, you wouldn't be able to last a day in my childhood. Could you imagine having to wake up like at 4 a.m. to go feed cows? No, her dad even told me because we went hiking and because I like to go hiking. I like to go on outdoorsy type of adventures. Mm-hmm. And I asked because she wanted to wait in the car while we went hiking. And no, so it was the most bizarre thing because she didn't feel comfortable because we even said like the dad was like, well, why don't you guys like I'll drop you guys off at the beach and then we'll drive over to where the hike is so you guys can relax and like tan at the beach like her and the mom. And she's like, I don't feel comfortable not being with the car. Like it gives me anxiety. And I'm like, so you'd rather go sit in a hot car for like 2 hours while me and your dad hike up to the top of the mountain and you'd rather do that? Like, all right. And then I asked her dad, I was like, well, did you ever take her to do this stuff when she was little? And he's like, no, she made me pull her in her wagon. She wouldn't hike. Shocking.
So she's been spoiled her whole life.
And she has. And I'm like, this is why that's another thing. I'm like, when you have like Veruca Salt, I'm like, when you have a child that you don't say no to, and then they become an adult, like fucking oh my God. Dean Rocker said it, like, or the Oompa Loompas actually said it. It's like, what's going to happen when they're an adult? You know, if you have a spoiled child that you don't say no to, what's going to happen when they're an adult? Guess what? They become an SJW.
Exactly. That's the world we live in. Hooray. Hooray.
Willy Wonka was ahead of its time. Those are all
the social warriors. Mm-hmm. They knew way back in the day.
Let me read a couple more. Beth Digout, thank you for the super chat. Robert Pattinson, you had one ducking job. I know I read that, but I wanted to read it again. You had one fucking job and you're not going to do it. B. Carswell, thank you for the super chat. Batwoman said that Batman killed Joker. Thoughts?
No, that didn't happen. I mean, I don't know where Batwoman fits anywhere in the DC canon at all. I don't follow the show. I didn't watch the show. I couldn't. I was like,
I tried so.
I think you told me about. I think I was going to, and then you told me about the first episode, and I was like, "Fuck this."
I think I made it through 3 episodes, and I was like, I can't do this to my mind.
Yeah, that's. I don't blame you. But that's just. I don't know where it fits in the whole timeline, but that's just Batman killing Joker should never be a thing ever in Batman. That doesn't make sense. It runs against Batman's character, and it runs against the like perpetual longevity of the Joker specter, who should always.
It is left very ambiguous on what happens when they started off Batman. Oh my god, the TV show. Why am I blanking on the name? I was gonna say Batman Begins, but that's not it. Oh my god.
Beyond. Yep.
Yes, Batman Beyond. Yes, that was it. It's the other B. Yeah, so Batman Beyond, they left it very ambiguous on what happens, but there are the Joker gangs, but it is left up to your. Yeah. Well, some things come out like what happened to Robin and whatnot, but it doesn't. It leaves it very open ended to what happened. Let me finish reading some of these super chats. Let's see. Beth Digout, thank you for the super chat. Behold the Fat Man. It might be that. Daniel John 19, thank you for the super chat. RP can work Robert Pattinson can work UPS with me. He'll be Batman ready. Yeah, lifting all those packages, bending over, lifting things. Yeah, there you go.
Olympians who participate in sports that aren't like big financed ones, they're not living off of sports sponsorship deals and shit like that. A lot favor jobs like UPS or like working Home Depot, working somewhere where they're going to do a lot of heavy lifting, because of that reason, because it gives you it keeps them in shape. It's sort of cross training for them. Fun fact. And
like I said, just swim. If you don't want to work out and you want to have a different type of build, just swim.
It's summertime. It's the perfect time to do it. Well, it's almost. It's here. Depending. Robert Pattinson's probably out here where it's fucking hot. So.
Well, even that, go to an Olympic pool at like a 24-hour fitness where they have heated pools and fucking swim, or get a cold pool. Or
he probably has a pool in his back goddamn yard.
I know. Just swim. Just swim laps every single day. You will get toned. Let's see. Chris Canmore, thank you for the super chat. Don't forget that Rebels last episode recap takes place after Jedi. Yeah, because there's that like 10-year gap, and so they even like touch on that. But I mean, there you go. Have Ahsoka and Sabine show up last maybe 2 episodes. Say, yeah, we're looking. We're searching this sector. Okay, they're not here. Let's help you out on a mission, and then let's take off. And then, oh my god, what if they do? Because they can't take Baby Yoda away. Because I was gonna say, what if Ahsoka takes Baby Yoda from Mandalorian? But if Leslie Headland is in charge of the female-centric Star Wars show, which is Ahsoka and Sabine, I'm gonna throw up. You ruined my life, Jessi. Sky Trooper 501st, thank you for the super chat. I suspect that Ahsoka and Rey will team up together and send Baby Yoda, real Yoda, back in time. Yep, Lucasfilm will use time travel. Well, they did in Rebels. That was the thing. With the wolves, with the Jedi wolves. That's a thing, Jessi. Jedi wolves are a thing in Rebels.
Okay. How am I supposed to feel about
that? Ignore it the way that everyone else does. But that is the conclusion of the super chat. So this is not supposed to be a long show. We're already at almost 3 hours. But thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Jessi, thank you so much for being here. We will be on Jessi's channel, which is Mindless Entertainment, next week. The link for her channel is in the description. If you are not subscribed, make sure to go subscribe. Make sure to go follow Jessi on Twitter. And that way you can keep posted. But this is going to be a weekly show, 2 Wednesdays at 2 p.m. every week on my channel and then on Jessi's channel. So, Jessi, any closing thoughts before we wrap it up?
All right. Thanks, chat, for being awesome, for being here, for being interesting, and always keeping us on our toes. Thanks, Anna, for having me and for us finally coming through to do this. So appreciate you guys you know, watching, and huzzah to the Fandom Menace and us.
And everyone, with that being said, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day, and may the force be with you, because we are really, really, really going to need it. Bye, everyone.
Is it terrible when they scream?